Hurts has time, takes off, Jalen Hurts, touchdown Philadelphia. Hurts, again the time, now Chase, now taking off to the pylon, got there, Jalen Hurts for the second time tonight. Hurts looking to take off, Hurts has the first down. Jalen Hurts does it with his leg, which took care of those early drives. Dallas takes their final timeout.
Alongside T-Bone and Alex, I'm BK. It's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. That's what it sounded like last night on Peacock or NBC, depending on how you watch it, as the Eagles win 24-20 in a closer game than all of us were expecting. Who was it? One of us picked Dallas with the points.
I did.
You picked Dallas
I said
with the
Dallas
points?
with the points.
Well done, sir. Congratulations. You're 1-0 in a game that didn't matter for
I know. That was actually one of my pick'ems, so I'll take that as my 3-point play. But I was also the one that said, made fun of T-Bone because he took the over and you took the under in this one. And I said at halftime, I'm like, ooh, under was a bad play. And lo and behold, the second half was just about as boring as watching paint dry.
I told you there's always a chance.
Yeah,
there's always
the
a chance, and we
thunderstorm is what did it.
24-20
So
last
lame.
night. That is the final score. Boys, what did we learn? By the way, we'll have our Pick'em Challenge today. We'll get to One's Gotta Go today. We've got Mike McKenna today. We've got Brad Thompson today. Bill Connelly of ESPN.com will help us preview the college football weekend. A loaded show today. But what did we learn last night in our first NFL taste of the 2025 season?
I mean, for me, I learned that offense is still the real deal for Philadelphia. I gained so much more respect, or I'm gaining more respect for Jalen Hurts. He dominated that first half with just his legs. He didn't have to throw the ball. He didn't have to do anything because he just found a way to corrupt the Dallas defense. And then I also found out that both of these defenses, and I know the second half looked a little bit better than what it did in the first half, both of these defenses do have flaws, which is kind of why this NFC division seems a little bit more open than I originally thought. But to me, Philadelphia looked like the better team from start to finish, and a lot of this was because of the quarterback and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I thought the Eagles' offense looked awesome. And I don't know if that's more against what the Cowboys' defense is without Parsons, or if it is, man, that is what we expect from them. But I thought Jalen Hurts looked comfortable all night. And I think Collinsworth said on the broadcast at one point, doesn't he just look more calm than in years past? And that's the way I felt. But again, in week one, it's tough to tell if that's like a real thing or it's like, oh, yeah, okay, in a couple of weeks, we're going to look at the Cowboys.
On that?
Yes, go ahead.
I think he looks healthy. I think he hasn't been healthy most of the last couple of seasons. And I think part of that is because of the style of play that they have. Like, Jalen Hurts is going to get beat up if they continue doing the stuff that they do with the tush push, but also the tush push is their identity, man. Mm-hmm. Last night, you get into situations where it's like 3rd and 2. We all know what's coming. Everybody does. And there's one team in the NFL that can actually do it the way that they do, and it's them. Because they've got a great offensive line, and they've got a dude at quarterback that's a power lifter. So they're awesome. They're so freaking good. I don't know that I love their style. It's just not like for me. Jalen Hurts is a very specific type of quarterback, and what he does extremely well. He's like 80% Cam Newton to me. That's like the style of player that he is. I don't think he's as good of a thrower. This is not a shot at Jalen Hurts. I think Cam Newton was an excellent quarterback prior to his injuries and whatnot, but I don't think he's quite as good of a thrower of the football as Cam was. But with his legs, short yardage situations, all of that, yeah, Jalen Hurts is a stud, man. And I think there are times where he does get a bit overlooked. I did think the defense was spotty at times yesterday. I think yesterday what I said going into it was, man, their defensive line does give me some concerns. And you look at the talent that they had on that side of the ball last year up front, it was hard to ignore. I mean, it won them Super Bowl. And this year, they just lost a lot of it. So their defense, I think, is still going to be good. They've still got some blue chippers. Dude, that linebacker they picked, oh boy, was he good last night. Oh, my goodness. That play that he made down the middle of the field, I think it might have been CeeDee Lamb, but a guy streaking from the slot right down the seam. It's a cover 2 situation, so he's got the safety, but he's got him stacked. So the receiver is inside. He's got inside leverage. The only player that can make this play is the linebacker. And they're doing a Tampa 2-style defense. Linebacker's got the middle, and he's dropping back, and he finds a way to make the play from the other side of the field. It was unbelievable. Jahad Campbell had a really good first night for himself with the Philadelphia defense. But I came away from that game. That's what I thought Philadelphia would be. I actually was more impressed with Dallas last night. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but Dallas really impressed me. They just looked well coached. I didn't know what to expect from a Brian Schottenheimer coached team, but I thought they just looked disciplined. That end of the half situation, they executed to perfection. Mike McCarthy does not do that. If he's the head coach, they do not score before the half yesterday. So I was very impressed by what Dallas put on tape yesterday as well. And if CeeDee Lamb didn't get a case of the dropsies in the second half, I think they probably find a way to win it.
At least he accepted it postgame and didn't act like it wasn't on him. I was impressed by their offense. Dak looked really good. Javonte Williams looked good as well. I also, though, watched it kind of differently because they didn't have to go up against Jalen Carter. That's the one thing that Collinsworth kept pointing out was like, this rookie right guard was planning to go up against Jalen Carter, and he kind of got a gift with Jalen Carter, spitting
hawking up a loogie.
Yeah, hawking a loogie on Dak before he starts the game. But I thought the quarterback play and just the offense in general looked good. Pickens obviously opens up that offense and gives more space for CeeDee Lamb. And I was very skeptical of their running game, and Javonte Williams looks like he's going to be fine in that one. So I think they'll be fine, but Dallas's defense is going to cause a lot of fits for their offense throughout the season.
Yeah, they kind of felt like what I thought they would look like. Now, I thought they would have issues going up against Philly, and maybe the Carter thing was what ended up making it look a little better. But, man, Dak looked great. He put a couple of balls on a dime. I mean, he tried to kill his tight end 3 times, but he also put a couple on a dime, and Lamb dropped them. But that offense was what we talked about, I think, yesterday, where we said, hey, they maybe are the team that has the chance to do like what the Bengals did last year, where it is, hey, they're probably going to float right around 500. The defense is going to lose them some games, but as long as everybody on offense stays healthy with the weapons and Dak, they should be kind of feisty. They should stay in a lot of games, and that's what I think you saw last night. They're not going to be a team that you're going to just be able to bully with your offense and just put them down. Dak's going to keep that offense in a rhythm for the most part with Lamb and with Pickens. They should be pretty good offensively to be around a 500 football team.
They might be what a lot of people are projecting the Raiders to be. And what I mean by that is the Raiders have this interesting offense. They had this huge coaching bump from what they had a year ago to what they now have with Pete Carroll. Patriots fit into this criteria as well, where it's like, okay, some interesting talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Mike Vrabel's at least going to have them coached up, and so he's going to maximize whatever the talent is there. I didn't put Schottenheimer into that category because he's just an unknown compared to Vrabel or Pete Carroll as an example. But if he's a good coach, I mean, this offense is more talented than what they have in Vegas, what they have in New England. And the defense is also probably a little more talented than both of those spots as well. They could just be the team that we anticipated both of those teams in the AFC becoming. You look at their schedule as well. It's not particularly daunting over the next 4 or 5 weeks. The Giants next week, good defensive line, but otherwise, that's a game that the Cowboys should win. At the Bears, 50-50 game. I think they could win that, though. Green Bay at home, come on, they're going to get beat by 40. And then on the road at the Jets and on the road at the Panthers. They could go 4-1 in that 5-game stretch. You're talking about a 4-2 team going into that game at home against Washington. Maybe they become a little bit more interesting. So I gained more appreciation for the Cowboys last night. The Eagles just did what I thought they would do. Yeah. This is the team that I know them to be and that we've all seen them to be over the last 13 months.
It's why I'll be interested to see when the Commanders play this weekend, because now watching Philadelphia and seeing their flaws on defense, Dallas seeing their flaws, Commanders do have a realistic opportunity to be the division winner this year if things go their direction and they can put themselves a little bit ahead of what Philadelphia is.
He's Alex S. T-Bone. I'm BK. As I mentioned, we do have our Pick'em Challenge coming up later on today. 12 o'clock hour is when you will be able to hear that. We'll give you our picks. We do have our punishments in place for this season as well. Each and every month, we will have a punishment for whoever has the fewest games correct in that respective month. And this year, we're adding something new. At the end of the season, there will be a full season Pick'em punishment. So whoever gets the fewest number of games correct this season, they will have a punishment to serve at the end of the season. So we will give you more information on that as we go along here today. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. The YouTube chat is available for you at youtube.com/101ESPN STL. 314-399-9646. Again, that is where you can get any of your questions in for Ask Us Anything at the end of this hour. Coming up next, ESPN.com had a ranking earlier today on the top cores in Major League Baseball. Where did the Cardinals land, and who do they have as their best pieces of this core? We'll talk about that next here on 101 ESPN. Hi, Alex and T-Bone. I'm BK. It's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. We'll talk to Mike McKenna, McAdoodle Mike, coming up here in just a little bit. Alex, by the way, I didn't ask you, how'd your underdog play go last night?
It was great. By the first half, I hit 3 of my 4 legs. I'm like, ooh, buddy, gonna make some money early. And then Saquon Barkley just wasn't run after the thunderstorm delay. So I finished 31 yards short of $170.
Yeah, the entries,
I think I actually was promo code BKO'd.
I had Saquon and Jalen Hurts to have a rushing touchdown. I had CeeDee Lamb, the higher on his receptions.
Same.
All 3 of those went well for me.
Yeah, I had Aubrey over 1.5 field goals made. Hit both of those by halftime.
And then A.J. Brown was MIA for the entire game.
That checks out.
He might as well have not played until like 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Jahan Dotson had more receptions.
The higher on his receiving yards did not exactly hit yesterday. So 3 out of 4, not bad. If you got the insurance on there, maybe it worked out for you. But if you faded my pick last night, you didn't do super well either. So, we all failed on that one.
You know what?
But I hope you were able to play over on Underdog, and if you have not done so yet, use that promo code BKO to be able to play tonight for the Chiefs versus the Chargers game.
I'm going to put one together for tonight with that promo code.
I'm going to play tonight over
Got to get some
Underdog.
money, T-Bone.
All right, Alex. So earlier today, I was reading over on ESPN.com. They had a list from Kylie McDaniel, our friend who never returns our calls anymore, but he
T-Bone
does
did that.
great work over at
It's not my
ESPN.com. He put together his list, his rankings, of the best cores in Major League Baseball. So he's looking at young talent, controllable talent. So who have the best cores in Major League Baseball? You'll never believe this. The Dodgers were at number 1.
But they're old.
Yeah, but they've got really good players that are signed up long term. They have Shohei Ohtani in the elite category.
Nobody.
They have Will Smith, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Andy Pages, Blake Snell, and Tyler Glasnow, all in the plus category, and then another dozen players that are considered to be solid, including former Cardinal Tommy Edman. So they're number 1. Number 2 on this list is the Seattle Mariners. Number 3 is the Philadelphia Phillies. Number 4 is the New York Mets. And number 5, the Atlanta Braves. Alex, let's stop right there real quick. The top 4, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Mets, 3 of those 4, primarily have built their rosters through free agency. So I find that to be interesting. We talk about this, the core group of players. I think for a lot of fans, for a lot of media, we get so honed in on, well, you build your core through draft and develop, and yet 3 of the top 4 cores, according to Kylie McDaniel, were primarily constructed through trades and free agency. I just personally find that to be somewhat interesting.
Yeah, which is typically the key in Major League Baseball these days. It's not the draft and develop. Like the Mariners are probably the team you're looking at because of the draft and develop.
No doubt.
But they also were bad for a very long time, and some of the pieces that have been good for them have also been acquired via trade or free agency. So the building through draft and develop is great, but at some point you have to go spend money or make trades of what you've been drafting and developing to make your team successful.
Okay, so I told you the top of the list. Now let's go to the bottom of the list.
Cardinals won't be here. They'll
At
be in the
number
middle.
30 for the 4th consecutive season. Congratulations, Colorado Rockies.
Checks out.
Yeah, this is why you need an analytics department, Colorado.
Yeah, I was going
right.
to say, actually, they have tried the draft and develop and still stuck.
They have 0 elite players in their core and 0 plus players in their core. A lot of solid players, though.
You know what you can build with a lot of solid players? Worst record
team
in baseball.
That's right. At number 29 for the 2nd consecutive year. Congratulations.
The Athletics.
Chicago White Sox.
Oh. Yeah, I did watch them in person this year.
At number 28 for the 2nd consecutive year.
who's now here?
Congratulations to the LA Angels. There we go.
Yeah.
Checks out, too.
I'm glad you were buyers at the deadline.
That's what happens when you just live around Mike Trout.
At number 27 for the 2nd consecutive year. Congratulations to the Miami Marlins.
Oh, that doesn't seem
come
fair.
on. They've got a couple of studs on their roster. Come
At
on,
number
Kylie.
26, dropping from 25 1 year ago, the Washington Nationals. At number 25, dropping from number 19 1 year ago, the Tampa Bay Rays. And at number 24,
How the mighty have fallen.
dropping from number 23 last year, number 8 in 2023, and number 4 in 2022,
Good God.
your St. Louis Cardinals.
Ah.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
How were they 4 in 2022?
I mean, at the time, you had Tyler
Goalie,
O'Neill, you had
Arenado.
Goldie, Arenado, Dylan Carlson, Walker coming up, Winn coming up, Brendan Donovan. I mean, it was a pretty exciting time here in St. Louis.
So basically, they did the whole like draft and develop, and people were excited, and then
that's right,
fell flat.
Yeah, it turns out prospects do not always work out the way that you intend them to. So the Cardinals at number 24, 0 elite players on this list. Sonny Gray is listed as a plus player. I'm not totally sure he's going to be around for the foreseeable future. And Masyn Winn is your other plus player, according to Kiley McDaniel. Now, some Cardinals fans are going to get annoyed by this, but the way that he puts this criteria together, elite is a 5-win player based on wins above replacement, otherwise known as a perennial all-star, legit chance to win an MVP in any given season. A plus player is about a 3 to 5 win player in any given season. That's where Masyn Winn has been for most of his career. And then a solid player is a 1.5 to 3 win player, otherwise known as a low end starter, valuable role players, etc. That's most of the Cardinals roster. So everybody basically not named Masyn Winn, they fit into that other category.
My only concern is I wonder if Masyn Winn may fall towards that the further he goes in his career.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Would you guys, like, he goes based upon wins above replacement, and that's a totally fine criteria to use. That's what a lot of teams use internally. It's their version of some algorithm that becomes a wins above replacement type of formula. Would you guys have Masyn Winn as an elite or plus player, or would he fit into that solid category with Brendan Donovan, Wilson Contreras, Ivan Herrera, etc.?
I think he would fall into that solid for me. And that's not to take anything away from Masyn Winn, because the defense is elite, but the offense hasn't lived up to kind of the comparison of where that defense is at. And it's what we knew about him. I just think the way you described what Kiley McDaniel's criteria was in terms of a solid player, I think that's what he is. I think he's a really good role player / complementary piece. I don't think he's a guy that kind of sets you above the rest of the core. So at least for what we've seen in 1.5, almost 2 seasons, I think Masyn Winn is probably more in that solid player.
Yeah, I agree. For Masyn Winn to be plus, I think he's got to be a league average, if not slightly above league average offensive player. And this year, the offense has kind of fallen off. He's down 9% below league average. And look, some of that might be due to the knee injury that he's got going on here in the second half. And he gets credit for posting and still playing elite level defense, but the bat's just not there right now. So I don't view him as a solid player. I think he's a good player for you, but he's not in that plus category. No, he's not in that elite category. I think he just falls in with most of what you have already, which is just a bunch of really nice pieces.
And a month ago, he was batting .275 with an OPS over 720, which would be above league average offensively. And since then, his knee has clearly been a problem for him. So I'm giving him a lot of grace here. I do not grade him on the same, like, since, let's see here, August 9th, so almost exactly a month. He's batting .171 with a .468 OPS, and that's dropped his OPS about 50 points in that stretch of time. So I don't think this is indicative of where he's at offensively. I think he's a pretty darn good offensive player. I think he's pretty close to what he was a year ago, and I think he's being nagged at by that knee injury. So I do think he's a plus player personally, but we just see this slightly differently.
Yeah, well, and that's why I'm not sitting here saying this is what he is and what he's going to be. I think he can be a plus player the same way I believe that Ivan Herrera can be a plus player, because he was in the solid player according to Kiley McDaniel. It's just I haven't seen enough of it yet to sit there and grade him on that. Right now, it feels more like a solid player.
Yeah, I think that's today. I would say he's solid. I do project him, though, to be a plus player. I also think, like, if you put Masyn Winn in the Phillies lineup, the Dodgers lineup, the Mets lineup, etc., I think he even shows out that much more because of some of the under-the-radar stuff that he does. His excellent defense for a contender really matters, especially given the position that he plays for you and the fact that he could be a average to above league average offensive contributor with some of the best defense, not just at his position, but regardless of position in all of Major League Baseball. I think that's super valuable, so I would value him a little bit more. But I get it. I mean, the offensive numbers are hard to argue this year. I think there's explanations for it, but it's hard to suggest otherwise. I do find it interesting he's got J.J. Weatherholt in that solid category. That's one that really stands out to me. And
it's just so hard, I guess, because it's how anybody evaluates prospects.
I mean, he's really high on J.J. Weatherholt. He has him as a top 10 prospect in baseball.
But I guess you can't put him into the same category as Masyn Winn until you see it at the major league level.
If you project him to be that, you absolutely could. I mean, there's guys on this list for other teams that he has higher than what he has J.J. Weatherholt for the Cardinals. So he's, just as an example, he's got Kevin McGonigal as somebody that is in that, like, plus to elite category for the Detroit Tigers. McGonigal right now is in Double-A for the Detroit Tigers. So if he's got him all the way up there as a 20-year-old playing in Double-A, and he doesn't have J.J. Weatherholt in that same category. Now, it's one person's evaluation. He could be wrong. I find that to be somewhat interesting, though, given the fact that the Cardinals appear internally to be projecting J.J. Weatherholt to certainly be more than just what Brendan Donovan or Lars Nootbaar have been.
Well, and not just the Cardinals. I mean, Jim Bowden projects him to be a superstar. I think there's multiple people that we've talked to that project that. So a little surprised, but not to talk bad about our guy, Kylie McDaniel, but he also had Bryce Harper as a, what was he? Was a
solid
He
player.
doesn't answer our phone calls anymore. Go ahead. Let him have it.
Well, no, I thought he'll answer him at some point. Maybe he just doesn't respond to you.
No. If there is a glimmer of hope from this list, it is what the Boston Red Sox have done. I mean, we've talked about this before, but Boston with Chaim Bloom was not in a good spot. And they are now 7th on this list of the best cores in Major League Baseball. They went from 2022, 24th, 2023, 24th, 2024, 13th. This year, they're 7th. A large part, that is because of the players that Chaim Bloom was able to acquire for them. They've got Roman Anthony, Jarren Duran, Rafaela, and Wilyer Abreu in the plus category. Somebody that he did not acquire, Garrett Crochet, is listed in the elite category. He was acquired this offseason by the Red Sox, but they did use some of the players that were acquired by Chaim Bloom to be able to go get Garrett Crochet, and now they're top 7 in Major League Baseball in core. It took about 5 years to get here, though. I mean, it took some time before they have been able to see the fruits of his labor. But if you're a Cardinals fan that remains optimistic today, I would say that's the number one thing you would point to is look what he did in Boston. It took some time, but he was able to figure it out there.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have the path moving forward, you have at least some examples of what it could look like, and you see the success, it should give you optimism. The hard part for Cardinals fans is I don't think they're in this position where they want to wait that long. And, I mean, we're talking, 4-5 years of what it took for Chaim to get Boston to where they're at right now. That's not something that I think Cardinals have a palate for right now.
I'll tell you that. I don't have a palate for 5 years from now being a contender again.
No, even the Blues, it's like when they told you 3 years, you at least saw signs of hope. This one, you might be talking about just complete demise for a couple of years.
I will say this. Chaim Bloom started in 2020. That was his first year as the president of baseball operations with the Boston Red Sox. So if you do it by the 5 years since then, we're now 2025. So 5 years removed. His first year here was really last year. So this year would be year 2, and then next year would be year 3.
He wasn't making the decisions in Boston that first year?
He was, but I'm saying
he's saying here.
It's hard to give an example. Like, it's not a one-for-one comparison because his first year was the year that he was making the decisions in Boston. His first year here, he was overseeing the minor league development system last year and then continued to do that this year. Next year will be his quote-unquote first year in charge, but he's been in the system for 2 years already. So if you want to say, hey, there's a reason to believe that this will happen quicker, that would be it. And then you'd be on a 3-year program, which is still a long time, but it's better than 5.
Yeah, and what
again,
makes
I'm just trying to give you a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, and I guess depending on how you view that glimmer of hope, like I'm not even sure how much he was really calling the shots at the deadline. To where I'm not even sure if I would give him those 2 years prior. I think you're probably starting year 1 is year 1. I feel
like he's ground zero these last couple of years.
For Chaim Bloom. The other thing that I find interesting, and we didn't get to see it for Chaim, but you mentioned some of these pieces that are there. He's got the plus players were guys that he was able to, whether it was acquire a trade or be able to draft and develop. He's not the one that brought in their best guys. And that's where I find it to be interesting because he's the one who whiffed on the Trevor Story contract. But he wasn't the one
been good this year.
Yeah, he's not there. Chaim's not there anymore. Like year 4 of that deal
Chaim's reason
out.
Trevor was bad?
Maybe, but that was a Mo type of deal, right? 6 years at like $100-something million in the mid tier of the free agent market.
$5 basket instead of the top of the market.
Yeah, and what I find interesting is when he does get to this spot here in St. Louis, will he do what Mo wouldn't do, which is get you back over that top? Will he trade prospects to go get your Crochet? Will he go out and sign your Alex Bregman? We can talk all we want about, how does Chaim get them back to contention? The real question is, how does Chaim get them to that point, and then will he be willing to get beyond that point?
And he also gave out the Devers contract, which didn't exactly age well. Gracefully there.
Okay, well, that glimmer of hope is starting to fade away real quick because all the actual moves that made Boston good this year have not been Chaim.
Yeah.
He's Alex. That's T-Bone on BK. Coming up in 15 minutes, Ask Us Anything. But next, we've got some questions for Mike McKenna, former NHL goalie. He joins us every week here on BK and Ferrario, and he'll talk some hockey with us next here on 101 ESPN.
Tanner Hendrickson here to tell you about my friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, which is coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. New Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets when DraftKings Sportsbook launches on December 1st, so download now and place a $5 bet when we go live. DraftKings Sportsbook brings everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when DraftKings Sportsbook goes live in Missouri, you'll be betting with the Sportsbook app trusted by millions. Safe, secure, and has fast money withdrawals. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use my code TANNER to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's code TANNER in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Tanner Hendrickson here, the Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Cardinals back in action tonight as they start a 3-game set with the San Francisco Giants. 7:15 will be first pitch. Michael McGreevy will be on the mound for St. Louis. And tonight here on 101 ESPN, you can hear the Kansas City Chiefs take on the LA Chargers. The Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. SemaLondoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Couple of weeks away from
Take two.
Couple of weeks away from Blues and Brews with 101 ESPN. That means we're only a few weeks away from the start of the NHL season. Easy for you to say, Alex.
Yeah, you nailed it, man.
Thanks, man.
10 out of 10.
All the help over there.
Yeah.
Mike McKenna is a former
Friday,
NHL goalie. Glad we have him to be able to talk for most of this segment here on
Surprised you
BK
said
and
his name
Ferrario.
right.
He joins us each and every week via the Callier and Thompson hotline. How you doing, Mike?
3 out of 10. 3 out of 10, guys. No, I'm kidding around, man. I got it gets to be 11:40, and I've already played hockey this morning. I went to our distributor over in Kirkwood to pick up a whole bunch of allocated items from Penelope and Found North and some others. Then I got over to my friends at Combs Tire and got something fixed for my car and drove on out here to Darden Prairie, and we're already rolling. So we'll go from a 3 to 5, 3 out of 10. Let's make this thing a real 8 out of 10, and let's make it a 10 out of 10 by the end of the day, because it's Friday, man, and it's been a long week.
Mike, you sound like a guy who not only has young kids, but also played hockey for a career, because it sounds like you were up by like 3 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
It was too much, but it's funny how I get these little glimpses, though, where last night I'm looking and I saw the Blues and Brews coming up and says, well, these players are going to be here. And I realized, oh, man, it's September. Like, this is typically when I had packed up and left for the entire winter. And now I'm 6 years out of that, 7 years. It's been 7 years since I've done that. 2018 was the last time I packed up the U-Haul trailer, Tetris style, and went 16 to 20 hours cross country with this thing behind us. And there's nothing I miss less than that. Like the moment I got there and the season got going and everything, awesome. What a job. But packing that thing up twice a year, the time it took off my life, it felt like it's just brutal.
Well, and also the last 5 years of your career in the NHL, Mike, you not only had to pack up for one place, but you packed up for like 6 or 7 different places throughout one season.
There's not a if U-Haul had a rewards program, guys, I'd be top tier for life. I'd be like American Airlines, where you got that card where you fly anywhere you want and eat all the fillet mignon on the plane, and and all the rest. That would be me with U-Haul. Sadly, they don't. So shout out to U-Haul. Get your rewards program together for the hockey players. We could really use it.
Yeah, the driver rewards for U-Haul. I get that one, Mike.
All right, Mike, let's go a little big picture today. We've talked a lot this offseason about the Blues specifically, what our expectations are for them, and we'll have plenty of time for that over the coming weeks and months as well. But one of the stories that came out this week was Connor McDavid and his contract situation. He's entering the final year of his deal with the Edmonton Oilers. Sounds like he's willing to kind of take his time with it. Edmonton really has nothing else that they can do at this point. That's one of the top storylines heading into the 2025 season. For you, as you think big picture this year, Mike, NHL storylines heading into 2025, what do you think is the number one story for hockey this year?
Well, I think the whole preparation for what you're seeing with the Olympics is one thing. I think you're also going to be looking at salaries now going way north because you've got McDavid and you've got Kirill Kaprizov, who's going to be in that same boat for it. I think for me, one of the biggest stories is going to be how some teams that last season weren't very good are going to bounce back, if they bounce back. Like, can the Boston Bruins suddenly be a good hockey team again? Like, they were terrible last year, and that was so far off for that franchise and organization. They're not used to that. Those things are real to me. So it's not about contracts. It's about who bounces back. And on top of that, the elephant in the room is, can anybody slow down the Florida Panthers? Like, I'm 3 years in a row in the Stanley Cup Finals, 2 wins, 1 loss. Like, people do not want to call them a dynasty, right, guys? Like, we're trying not to call them a dynasty.
I think they are.
I do too.
I've got them there already.
I know, and I believe the same way. Like, you go to the finals 3 times in a row and 2 of those in a row, dude. You get that echelon, but it's not if they're for real. It's like, can they keep this going? So those things, and then especially though, I really do think, like, looking towards, kind of when you're thinking about Olympics and things, it always adds an extra bit of intrigue. And whether it's World Cup or Olympics, just international play can be overarching. And thankfully, they've got a CBA now that we're not going to be worried about work stoppage or anything. The pump has really been primed for the NHL to take off again this season and take off where it started last year.
Mike, I'm curious, and I don't know how long you were at the NHL level the last time that the NHL players played in the Olympics, but do you remember how teams operated that season, knowing that the schedule was going to be condensed and the Olympics were coming, like how players went about their business, how teams went about their business with Olympics versus non-Olympic season?
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, you're looking at it like you've got 2 sprints. You've got a sprint to effectively the holidays, and then the Olympics come in, and then you've got another sprint on the backside of it. And the big conversation in the locker room, and I can even go granular with the goaltending, is how much are you going to play? And what's your timing on playing? How are we going to start to see load management? Are we going to start to see people take a night off? Like, the amount of work that was done in the training rooms during Olympic years, to me, was crazy because you were just so condensed, and you really didn't practice a whole lot. So I felt that the hockey at the beginning of the season, especially when you're just trying to get off the ground as hot as you can, was pretty reckless. And then on the backside of it, everybody was so tired that the game really slowed down towards the second half of the season. Now, we're also talking years ago, and players, in my eyes, are in even better shape now, but it really had an odd feeling to it that you had 2 seasons within one. And that Olympic break, I mean, shoot, man, you had guys going to the Bahamas. Like, that's not a bad deal in the middle of the season. I never got to do that. I was down in the minors. I would have loved the opportunity to take a trip down to Cancun or something in the middle of the year.
Mike, final question that I've got for you. We've got Mike McKenna joining us as he does each and every Friday on BK and Ferrario. He does so on behalf of the fine folks over at Macadoodles. I saw yesterday on Twitter, Pat McAfee, former NFL punter, mentioned during the game, Mike Tirico said that the kicker balls are now allowed to be brought to the game by the teams this year. He said this is a huge deal for kickers and snappers. In his estimation, there's about 10 to 15 yards swing in well broken in balls versus the ball fresh out of the box. That maybe sound like a strange thing to mention to the hockey player that's joining us here on the air. I've got a reason to do so. What is something that really affects games, whether it be for a goalie, for a forward, whoever, something that really affects the overall outcome of games? Maybe it's something as minute as the pucks or the equipment that you're using, whatever it may be, that fans don't spend a second thinking about, because that's something for me. I have never once thought about which ball the kicker is using and how that can impact the overall course of a game. What is something like that in the NHL that really impacts games that fans do not think about?
Great question. I'll give you an NHL example, and I'll give you a junior example from when I played. So in the NHL, and it's really in any league, and again, this is kind of through the goalie's eyes a little bit, the color of the seats. Now, that sounds odd because the seats are usually full. Well, they're not always. And when the seats are black, and if it's the start of the period, and half the people are still out getting a bratwurst and a lager, it's hard to find the puck when it gets airborne. Like, really hard to find it. And it's almost like losing a ball in the lights if you've ever played outfield in baseball. It's kind of the same thing where you've got this black puck flying against a black background. You can lose it as a goalie. It's like daunting. You're just hoping it doesn't go up into the stands when there's black seats and when it's at, again, like the beginning of the period when the lower bowl's still like a third full. That can actually really affect you as a goaltender. The other one, and this is kind of more just a funny story. So I'm playing junior hockey in the North American Hockey League. I'm in Springfield, Illinois, where I went to high school at Lanphier High, by the way. I went to high school with Andre Iguodala. There's a fun fact for you.
How about that?
Ex-former NBA player. Yeah, he used to call me Hockey Mike at lunch. So, not kidding. But anyway, so we're playing, and we get to the start of the season, and our team bought all these pucks. And the pucks had a huge white logo on one side of the puck. With it was a big white circle on one side with the Junior Blues logo within that white circle. I could not see the puck. And I had to I'm like, we got to throw these things. We cannot use these. And they're like, well, we paid all this money for this. It was the Crawford family at the time. And we paid all the money for the pucks. We can't throw them away. I'm like, well, we're going to lose every game because I can't see the puck guy. And my goalie partner is saying the exact same thing. So it's a great example of something they just didn't think about, that you can't make a black puck white and expect to have the same game experience. Like, it was completely mindless. And that's where you see NHL pucks, they don't have a white background to anything. The Blues logo, the NHL crest, that's just on the black itself with a little outline on it, and it doesn't affect the vision of it. I'll never forget that moment, though, the first game when one came saucing at me, and I lost it right over the glove in the net. In between periods, we got to lose these pucks.
Mike, this is great, man. Always enjoy being able to catch up, getting whether it's big picture, kind of micro stuff with you. Appreciate the time as always. We got to hear, though, going into this weekend, what the fine folks over at Macadoodles have for people that might be hanging out, enjoying this weather, going outside a little bit this weekend. You got the football games on.
All season,
What
baby.
can people expect over at Macadoodles this weekend?
Oktoberfest pumpkin beer. O'Fallon beer is back. We've got the pumpkin and the vanilla pumpkin. Our wine room is really starting to rev it up over there. Just got a bunch of new Pinots in that are actually from France, but yet labeled a Pinot Noir. They're delicious. And as always, the whiskey section just keeps chugging right now. We've got a bunch of things from Nobleton's out in Union, Missouri, a couple Copper Dome allocated releases. Penelope, we got some cigar blend, we've got some American light whiskey, we got some Takagi cask rye. We also just got a massive shipment of Springbank super allocated scotches sitting on our shelves. Campbellton, some others. We're really excited about those because we usually only get those like once a year. They're first come, first serve. They're no holds. They go on the shelf. They're not marked up. They're not secondary pricing. Come on into Macadoodles. Come say hi to me. I'll be here till 5 o'clock today. We are ready to get you in and out and ready for the weekend at the corner of Bryan and Feisey Road, just north of the Page Extension.
He's Mike McKenna, joins us each and every week on BK and Ferrario on behalf of Macadoodles. Mike, great to catch up, man. Have a great weekend. We'll talk with you again next week.
Same to you, fellas. Enjoy the weekend, and training camp's right around the corner.
Thanks, Mike McKenna. Appreciate his time as always here on BK and Ferrario. Coming up next, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line for Ask Us Anything. If you guys have any questions, sports or otherwise, get them in next here on 101 ESPN. I saw this question on Twitter. Wanted to get your thoughts. We'll get some of yours from the text line as well. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Any questions, sports or otherwise, we'll get to those here on BK and Ferrario. Alex, would you care? This comes from Hardwood Paroxysm. Would you care if your team did what the Clippers allegedly did, which is, again, allegedly paid Kawhi Leonard under the table with a fake job for a third-party marketing, potentially Ponzi scheme type of situation? But anyways, would you care if your team did what the Clippers allegedly did, or would you care if they got caught, or neither, or both? So do you care at all if your favorite team, say the Blues, had a side piece, effectively, that was paying a player more to get around the salary cap? Would you care at all? And then would you care that they got caught? Or would you not care at all? For me, I love that they did this. If I'm a fan of the Clippers, I think it's great.
Yeah, if I'm a fan of
it shows me they really want to win, man.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right?
Yeah.
Like if as much as I hate when other teams pull it off, if my team did, I'd be like, well, okay.
It would bother me that they got caught. And the reason that it would bother me is because like this side piece, this extra company, this LLC, the reason that they got caught is because they went into bankruptcy. So like all of this was put into court documents, it just looks really dumb.
But if it bothers you that they got caught, then it should bother you that they were cheating originally.
No, it bothers me that they did it in a way that they were
that they're
able
stupid enough to get caught.
Correct.
Oh, see, I think if it
That's
bothers
what
you,
would
that
bother me if I'm a Tennessee fan. It wouldn't have bothered me that Tennessee was allegedly cheating and paying players under the table. It would bother me that they did so in a way that was so freaking stupid that every other team is doing this. You were the one that got caught. That's what bothers me. It bothers me that with Frank Haith at Mizzou, they were the one team that actually got caught doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody's doing it.
It does make you look stupid, but I feel like if you're cheating and you're okay with it, and if they get caught, then you still got to be okay with the fact that they were cheating.
You see, I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
T-Bone's the steroids, you're a cheater.
Yeah. I don't like the.
Meanwhile, the entire
cheating.
Major League Baseball was doing it.
Yeah, I don't like it, especially because like now you're going to get punished for it. So now you're going to lose. I don't know what the NBA will hand out, but for example, say they say, you know what, we're taking away a first-round pick for this, which feels in the realm of possibilities since they're doing all this weird thing of circumventing the cap through a LLC. Like that can really alter a franchise. Look at how the Cardinals, they claim they never really recovered from the scandal they had where they were hacking into the Astros. And guess what we're watching now? A rebuild. So I hate when teams try this crap. Why can't you just play by the rules and get this done? I get it. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Do you think Astros fans regret what happened?
No, not at all. But I would not have personally liked it because I would still hold them to a standard of, man, I would not take
Would you remain a fan of the team if that was your team that did what the Astros did?
You would.
I probably would still be a fan. I would have a tough time with that core being there. Like that's where it would be tough for me. Like when that core kind of graduates out, and I think everybody's gone except for Altuve.
Yeah, then they're going to stink,
Correa's
though.
back.
Oh, yeah, Correa's back.
Then they're going to stink, though, when they all graduate and move out.
They're pretty good right now.
That's when I would feel a little different towards the organization. I would still be pretty upset at the organization for doing that.
I was just curious. All right, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line for Ask Us Anything, sports or otherwise, from the 314. Is there a sports competition or event that you've never attended that you would really like to be able to go to? And if so, what is it? Alex, I would have to imagine hockey in the Olympics would be a big one for you.
Oh, God, yeah. If I could go to an Olympics, especially it's in Milan now, so oh, God, yes, please. But that would be one of them. I've always wanted to go to a Masters tournament. I think that would be really cool. But, yeah, I didn't even think Olympics. But, yeah, you saying that, like if I could go to a gold medal Olympics hockey game with NHL players, yeah, that would probably be like the best thing I could do.
World Cup for me would be really cool to go to. I'm not even the biggest soccer fan. I mean, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, my interest in soccer is like a 2 to 3. But to be at that kind of a sporting event, that would be amazing. It's like going to, I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, but going to a Taylor Swift concert without paying the price, obviously, to get there.
Mortgaging your entire house?
Yeah, I think that would be a cool experience to be able to be a part of. Same thing for the Masters. I think going to a Masters golf tournament would be incredible. The PGA Championship here at Bellerive, one of my favorite sporting events that I've ever been able to attend, and I'm not even the biggest golf guy. It was amazing to be a part of that, and part of it is also that was kind of the coming out party for Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I followed Tiger Woods around that final day.
Being there that Sunday was amazing. But those would be up there for me.
I think mine would be going to doing an all-day NCAA tournament where you go to the arena, you're there for the 4 games that get played. I've been to college basketball games, and I enjoy them. Like being in Illinois for a game's awesome. When I went to Illinois and Indiana last year was awesome. I would love to be there for a Cinderella pulling off an upset. Being there for a day when someone goes down in the NCAA tournament. That would be one of the things that I'd love to attend.
True or false? An all-day college basketball for you wouldn't know where you were by the end of the night.
Oh, true.
From 636 PK, who you got winning Big Brother this season? I'm sticking with Keanu. I don't know if that's a good answer.
Oh, God, Keanu, are you kidding me?
Keanu's the one guy in the house that I actually like. I kind of like Kelly, too, though. Kelly and Keanu is the alliance right now that I most enjoy. Most of the people I find to be highly unlikable in the house this year, which is not a great place to be. I am very excited, though. Alex, tonight, it is the return of the Great British Baking Show. Are you a Great British Baking Show guy?
You lost me, buddy.
No, you don't watch it. I'm actually surprised by that.
No, I don't like watching baking shows. I like watching cooking shows, if that makes sense. I don't do desserts. I don't do that side of baking. I like cooking shows. Like I'll sit and
Chef
watch
shows, not baking shows.
Like entrees. I'll watch somebody make any type of entree you put in front of me. I actually think my wife got me onto this. Joanna Gaines does like a cooking show on HGTV where like she cooks different things. I'll watch that any day of the week. I don't like baking.
I'm out on Chip and Joanna, but I respect it.
I suck baking. I suck at baking.
Oh, I'm not good at it, but I enjoy watching it.
See, also, I don't like watching.
I just really find them to be wonderful humans.
If I
the show hardens me. It brings me joy.
If I watch something of people cooking, it's because I want to try and emulate it rather than just watch it for entertainment purposes.
I have no interest in a cooking show. Not at all.
I'll sit and just doom scroll people cooking on Instagram Reels for an hour straight. And I'll put like recipes down and be like, oh, I'm gonna try this.
Somebody on the text line, first of all, said UFC heavyweight title fight would be amazing to go to. Totally agree.
In Vegas. Again, it's got to be in Vegas.
One of those things. It's not necessarily the top of my interest list, but being there for that kind of an event would be very cool. Also, just learned BK will be watching the Great British Baking Show tonight instead of the Chiefs. No, I will be watching after.
No, he'll be recording the Chiefs. So watch that after the Great British Baking Show
tomorrow morning.
314-399-9646 is the air covered service text line to get involved in the show. For Ask Us Anything. Big brother, get the hell out of here. Sorry, man. Not everything is for everybody. That's all good.
It's a stupid show, but...
I agree. It is a very stupid show, but I've been watching it for 20 years, and at this point, it's a big part of my life.
I still watch South Park, so I guess I can't really complain.
I feel like at least that is quality television. What I'm watching is trash.
Oh, no, what I'm watching is trash. It just makes me laugh still.
Somebody asked about Hell's Kitchen. Is that a show that you watch? I used to be a big Hell's Kitchen guy. I've dropped off on all of the cooking shows. I don't really watch many of them
anymore.
I
like that because it's reality TV. It's not based on cooking. It's based on the guy yelling at people and trying to make them cry. Like, that's not entertaining to me.
Yeah, I used to watch
surprise people because people think I'm an ass.
I used to watch Top Chef. I used to watch what is the other one with Alton Brown where they have to cook with like scissors. I don't know. I forget what it's called, but it was another Food Network one. The next Food Network star we used to watch a lot.
I used to watch
T-Bone's like, get out of here.
I used to watch Man vs. Food all the time. That Adam Richman on Travel Channel, that was fun.
It turns out that was bad for his health.
Oh, yeah, he's huge. He's huge now, and I think he has diabetes from it. And then they had another guy do it. He did it for like a season, and then it was like, oh, this is unhealthy.
From the 314, which one of you went to the most difficult college? I mean, Alex went to Lindenwood. T-Bone went to Lewis and Clark. I went to Mizzou. So we had very different... I was going to continue my statement there. We had very different college experiences, which I think is, A, a good thing. And B, I've always said this to people that ask about what we do. Like, what should I do? Like, I've got high school kids in the past that have come to me and said, do I need to go to a specific college? What do I need to do in order to get on the radio? Whatever you're comfortable with, man. My schooling was probably not all that different than Alex's, and Alex's was probably not all that different than T-Bone's. It was the experience that I wanted. I wanted to go to a big school. Alex, I would assume that was not something that you necessarily wanted.
No, I wanted to go somewhere where I was able to be hands-on the moment I stepped through the doors, and that was Lindenwood for me.
And for T-Bone, he got an opportunity where he got a scholarship to go to a place to play tennis.
He was the smartest one out of all of us.
Absolutely.
College was paid for.
Everybody needs something different from college. So it's Cutthroat Kitchen, by the way. Everybody needs something different from college. And... for me, I wanted that experience of going to a big university that I could go to big games on Saturdays and I could watch the basketball program and I could also have what Alex is talking about. Missouri is known for having hands-on experience right off of the bat. So, yeah, that's why it was something that I wanted to do personally.
I mean, none of us went to Yale or Harvard. Like, we all went to broadcasting, and I think college is difficult no matter where you go because it's freaking college.
He's Alex, that's T-Bone, I'm BK. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to be joined by Brad Thompson, Cardinals analyst for FanDuel Sports Midwest. But next, can Bo Prabula silence the possible critics tomorrow? And is this a legacy season for Luke Altmyer? Not Luke Alton. Luke Altmyer at Illinois. We'll talk about that next year on 101 ESPN. Alex, I want to get to Bo Perbila here in just a moment, but I did want to ask T-Bone about Luke Altmyer because it feels kind of like a legacy season for him at Illinois. You look back over the last, 25 years at Illinois. They have not had many quarterbacks that are at this level. I saw earlier today, this was a stat from our guy, Bill Connelly, who's going to join us coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. Luke Altmyer has the highest QBR, quarterback rating for ESPN, of any Illinois quarterback in the last 20 years. Pretty remarkable because I don't know that any of us view him as like this elite level quarterback, but he's been certainly quite good. This is the kind of week, this is definitely the season that allows for him to continue to grow his name, his recognition at Illinois and otherwise. T-Bone, you look at the Illini over the last few years. This is the week that has been a killer for them. 2021, they lose against UTSA. Sets the season in motion. 2022, they lose at Indiana. It throws us off of the scent of Illinois that year. They go on to have a very good season, but that was a really frustrating loss for them. 2023, they lose at Kansas. Last year, their swing game was also against Kansas, and they won it. They took care of business, and the only games that they lost in the early going, that weird one against Minnesota, but other than that, they lost at Penn State, totally understandable. They lose at Oregon, again, more than reasonable. This is the kind of game that has been a swing game for Illinois in recent seasons. Last year was the first time they actually found a way to come out on top in the Brett Bielema era. They've got to find a way to do that tomorrow in order for Illinois fans like yourself to believe that this is going to be one of those ceiling types of seasons.
Yeah, and if they are able to find a way to win this one tomorrow, really sets in motion for the possibility of another 10-win season, which would be the first time in program history that they've had back-to-back 10-win seasons.
Jeez.
And the guy that has been running the show for them in that is Luke Altmyer, to your point. So it is potentially a legacy game for him to kind of help set him up for this, because you think back to some of the best players that you can think of the last 25 years. Like Juice Williams never had this back-to-back 10-win season. Same with that Chase Brown team and Tommy DeVito, who are really good and exciting, and Witherspoon, who was part of that team on defense. They didn't get the 10-win mark. So I think it is definitely a chance for him to be a legacy game, because he's kind of the driving force for the offense. We've talked about the wide receiver, who's going to be that guy that's going to step up and replace Pat Bryant. But when you think about the Illinois offense, you think of Luke Altmyer right now, because he is the guy that returned to this team. Yep. He doesn't have Chase Brown in the backfield that he can rely on like Tommy DeVito did. That was the star on offense for them. It is Luke Altmyer, and he is the guy that he's been good. He's a good game manager. He's made some big plays at times in his career, but he's got to really take that next step to make sure that Illinois can get past, Duke this weekend. And if they're going to be able to get to that 10-win mark again this year and potentially go to the college football playoff, Luke Altmyer's the guy. So he's got a chance for the legacy season to potentially, he gets back-to-back 10-win seasons. He might be a guy that you talk about potential statue out there in front of Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that becomes possible if you do this. And this is the kind of game that you have to win in order to get to that place. What's your level of anxiety? Give me a vibe check on T-Bone. 24 hours prior to the start of the game, Duke is at home. They're 12-2 in their last 14 home games. They have a quarterback that transferred over that there was a great story about yesterday. And he's this kid that is easy to like and was incredibly talented and can put Duke football back on the map. It's been a minute for them. What is your level of anxiety going into this one where it's only like a 3-point line and Duke is definitely a darling nationally to potentially pull off an upset this weekend?
See, I'm not extremely nervous about this game for some reason.
This is going to be so sweet.
1 to 10.
Oh, it's going to be so sweet. I cannot wait.
1 to 10, I'm at a 5 right now.
Okay.
I'm not extremely high.
Still some nerves.
It's gone up a little bit more because I came in the week at a 3, and then BK had mostly getting under my skin, but has made me a little bit more worried. I just see Duke, and I don't think that's the team that can beat Illinois, because I like their quarterback. That's about it from Duke that I really like.
Really good defensive mind as their coach.
Yeah, I just don't trust Manny Diaz. I saw him fail in Miami, so I just expect that he's going to flop at Duke as well. I feel good. I think I like what we saw from Hank Beatty. I think he's going to be able to replace some of that production from Pat Bryant. The running game was a lot better than I expected. And look, they played Western Illinois, but it was still better than what I thought. And I just think Illinois' defense is going to make it hard on them, to where I truly believe they are going to leave Duke with a win this weekend.
Did you know Duke went 9-3 last year and took SMU to overtime?
I knew they went 9-3. I read that they went 9-3 today, and it totally had no idea.
Yeah, it was the quietest 9-3 season that we've seen in recent memory. And last year they also struggled against Elon. So maybe it's just something about that matchup where, for whatever reason,
Elon juggernaut.
It's a weird matchup for Duke versus Elon. I don't totally understand it. They were tied at halftime, then they won 45-17. So they eventually took care of business. I think your anxiety level should be like a 7 or an 8. On the road, week 2, this has been the exact spot that Illinois has crapped the bed in recent seasons. UTSA, Indiana, Kansas, 2 of those 3 coming on the road. This is an upset special.
Don't tell him how to feel.
No, he can feel however he wants to, but I personally,
Making
if I
your
was an
3-point
Illinois
play
fan,
then for the pick'em.
No, the reason that I'm not going to have that as part of my pick'em is because I think that it is such a 50-50 proposition. I don't know which way it would go, but if I was going to have a bet on one side, it would be on the Duke money line. I would not bet on a side. I would bet on the money line to be able to get the potential value there, as opposed to having to pick one of the 2 spreads. Alex, which side are you on?
I have no sense on this one. I would take Duke mostly because of what you guys have talked about. I have no lie on this one.
All right, the other thing that I wanted to mention here, man, I'm ready to buy into Bo Perbula.
That's the one that I really don't know.
I have no idea what it's going to look like tomorrow against Kansas, but if he looks good against KU, I will be ready to say some wild things on Monday morning.
You did this last year, though. Remember where you said some wild things early on, and we were talking about like 11-win seasons?
2 years ago, I did that.
I thought that was 2 years ago. Yeah. That's right.
And
yeah,
then
last year it completely flubbed. Yeah.
Last year was just a weird season for Mizzou. From the very beginning, I was saying that before the season, and then we actually saw them take the field, and I was like, doesn't look quite the same.
Their defense looked awesome last year. You're right. 2 years ago is when we were saying wild stuff about Mizzou.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, coming up in 15 minutes, we will give you our football pick'em for this week. We'll also talk about some of the punishments that could be taking place for us at the end of the year and monthly during the football pick'em challenge. But next, BT Brad Thompson joins us here on 101 ESPN. Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. You got BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. We're going out to the Collier and Thompson hotline to be joined by Brad Thompson, Cardinals analyst for FanDuel Sports Midwest. Joins us each week here on the show. BT, what's good, man?
What's happening? Happy Friday, gentlemen. How we doing today?
Doing really well. So wanted to get started with you with the biggest topic for the Cardinals this week. I don't know if you heard or were made aware, but Brant Brown said some stuff about Jordan Walker this week. And since you're joining the show, you know it's time for some Walker talk. What did you make? We talked about this ad nauseum on the show, BT. What did you make of Brant Brown's comments coming out publicly and saying those things?
Yeah, look, I think that there are sometimes like where you might not want some things out public, but I think that we also know this, and we talked about this in several occasions, right, regardless of what kind of gets out, is any conversations that get out like that have been happening internally probably 40 or 50 times before something like that gets on the outside. So at the end of the day, for Jordan Walker, and I am a big Jordan Walker fan of the potential of his, just for the human that he is. He's a good dude. There's nothing malicious in the way that he goes about it. Here's what I think. I think that sometimes, and I was talking to the guys on the fast lane about this a little bit the other day, sometimes, like, you don't know what hard work looks like until you see hard work. Like, sometimes you think that you're doing all of the things that you need to be successful, and then you realize that there are other things that you could be doing. And I think that one of the biggest questions that you can ask is, hey, what do I need to do? Instead of somebody beating you over the head with, hey, here's this, here's that, here's that, and you kind of, and this isn't just a Jordan thing, this is any player thing, maybe you have your own routine, you've had a lot of success in the past. Maybe sometimes you have to come in with arms wide open. Like, all right, what do I need? You know, because there are times in careers, and I think that Jordan is that one in his career at 23 years old, still super young, still a lot of growing room, but still not a lot of sustained success over the last couple of years, right? I, as a player, would be asking for all the input that I could possibly get, and I think that he's getting to that point where he is realizing that more and more. So whether it's preparation, whether it's how to spend your time, there is a lot of time. Like, guys get to the stadium early, and there's a lot of what can be downtime at times. I think figuring out how to best utilize that time is something for any young player that is a big deal. Maybe it's video. Maybe some of it is flips or off the tee or working on velocity. But there's always something that you can be doing to get your body, get your mind, get your swing, get your pitching mechanics. There's always something that you could be doing. And at 23 years old, guys, I think that he's kind of going through that right now. So I'm sure the last couple of days sucked for him because he has been, like, everybody talks about him because he's a young prospect, and everybody thinks the world of what the ceiling could look like. But his struggles have mainly gone under the radar. It's like, well, Jordan, he's young. It happens. Now, with the comments of Brant Brown, there's more focus on him. So I'm sure that he has hated the last couple of days of answering some of these questions. But ultimately, guys, like, I think it ends up being good for him. I think it ends up being, hey, here it is. It's out there. Whether the narrative is on point, maybe there are bits of it that are true. Maybe he doesn't think any of them are. Either way, I think this ends up being a good thing for him.
Well, and that was kind of my follow-up question, BT, because there's no question that Jordan Walker's been performing these last couple of years with pressure on him. But is this maybe a way for the Cardinals to see how he handles this type of pressure and what he does with it?
Well, and certainly, like, that's not the reason that the comments come out, probably, is like, hey, let's see what he does with this. Let's just throw that landmine out there. Ooh, yeah, he did it. But, yeah, like, I really do think that there is something there where it's mentally, it's okay. This is out there. This is what maybe, first of all, maybe there is the reality of this is a true thing, and this could be a part that really helps unlock things for me. But the idea that there is that thought out there from the public, maybe there is that. Okay, let's turn a corner here, or let me prove people wrong, and let me go out there and let my work speak for itself. So I think that there absolutely can be a positive about that. And I don't know how you guys were, like, coming up athletically, or even like scholastically in school. No, you guys were great. I saw you at the Home Run Derby a couple of years ago. You were there. You wore uniforms. You had a bat.
That's right.
You did all the things.
I hit the top of the wall, BT.
Up.
I did not.
Yeah, and I know you did, buddy.
The wind was blowing in.
And
it was a hard day.
Here's what I know about you guys, though. You did your prep work first. You knew the pitcher. Does it always work? No. No, it doesn't always work out to the game plan. But I was always a guy, the way that I responded well, I didn't respond well to the, hey, you're doing great, that's awesome, the hold your hand, pat on the butt. Like, that wasn't me. I responded to getting jumped a little bit. I responded to almost getting challenged. I responded to, hey, what the blank are you doing? That's like, I learned from that. Now, not everybody is like that, but I feel like that's kind of one of those moments for him, and you'll kind of find out what it looks like. I still believe that it would really help, and it's not that he hasn't had this in the past, but the older you get and the more reps you get, maybe the more you sink some of this stuff in or seep some of this stuff in. I think he could use another veteran around him. Like, it would be nice to be able to have that guy, Goalie from last year, right? Maybe Goalie from last year this year gets to him even more than he did a year ago. Like, having that guy to put his arm around his shoulder and say, hey, this is what it looks like. Come with me. I got you. But it's a process, you know? Like, at 21, 22, 23 years old, we don't have this stuff figured out. And you can talk to a veteran guy that goes through struggles at 30, 31, 32. You don't always have it figured out. There's always more to dig into.
It's one of the reasons that I think tanking is so stupid, is because you end up with none of those veterans in your locker room, and now you've got young guys that are trying to figure out how to be major leaguers at the big league level, and you get into this perpetual losing, but that is neither here nor there. BT, I did want to ask you something else, and by the way, so you were more of a stick guy than a carrot guy?
Yeah, give me the stick. Big time. Use that however you want, too.
Okay. Appreciate
we'll clip that off and use that for our promo next time.
That's really all we needed there. The Giants are...
Thank you.
Giants are in town. Cardinals, Giants. Once upon a time, 10, 12 years ago, this was a huge matchup, BT. They were the teams of the early 2010s, and the Giants have since had one winning season since 2017. It's been rough for them, and now they're just 2 games over 500. I am curious, BT, like if you had the opportunity, I say, hey, you're the number one president of baseball operations candidate out there right now, and you get to take over whichever team that you want to, and of these two, the Giants or the Cardinals. Would you rather have the Giants to work with, given all of the contracts that they have on the books right now, or would you rather work with what is pretty close to a blank canvas here in St. Louis? Which of these teams do you think is closer to being a real contender?
Well, it's a difficult one, too, because if you're one of these candidates, right, if you're that number one guy in the job, you think about payroll in general. Even though you have some of those contracts, I think there's a little more flexibility to spend in San Francisco. Yeah. And I will say I do not have a firm grasp on what the minor league system looks like for the Giants. Now, by 6:40 tonight, I will have that dialed in, every little bit of it. Any nuanced question about somebody in A-ball, I'll have figured out.
We'll ask you about that next week.
Please don't. I like the idea of having a blank canvas if I'm a new guy coming in and I have length. Like, you got to give me 5 years. Give me 5 years on a deal. Don't just give me 2 or 3 with some expiring contracts that the other guy did and that I have to make work. Like, that is something that if you give me enough time to make something mine, and you give me enough leeway to take the pieces I have. I realize that in St. Louis, I probably don't have the spending capital that I would have in San Francisco. But if you let me utilize the prospects and the big league team to go get pieces that I need, I think I would prefer that. It's a challenge. It's not an easy job to be able to do that, and especially with a proud franchise, the second most winningest franchise in all of baseball. But give me the blank slate at this point, because being saddled with big, massive contracts of players who are declining is not the best position to be in. Now, that might be a homer take. I'm not sure. Which two would you take? Which one of the two?
I think I would need to talk to ownership first to see where they're at on that spending thing you just mentioned, BT, because if ownership is willing to spend here, I would rather take this job, because I know this is seemingly like I'm on an island take here. I do like some of the Cardinals' young talent, but I think it needs to be supplemented by a couple of stars, like a couple of top-level talent from the outside. And I think that all comes down to ownership's capacity and willingness to spend.
Yeah, and let's assume, right, the first year, like this upcoming year, I would be very surprised. And who knows, like the organization could surprise. I'd be surprised if you go out and spend for that one item this year.
Sure.
Just don't feel like they're that close to it. But in a year or so, as you flip some of these guys, because like I really think that there's going to be some real wheeling and dealing this offseason with Chaim Bloom and the first year under his regime. So I think you have to. You got a log jam in just so many different areas, and you have needs in different areas also. After that happens and you get some guys, kind of leveled out, then I think you get a real glimpse of what you might need. I think that's where the spending comes in. But again, I have no idea really what this looks like. But give me 5 years and give me the blanker slate. I think that's what I would rather attack.
My one fear on that, BT, I don't know if you've looked, and I know that you're caught up right now and looking at the high A stars for the San Francisco Giants, but if you get a little bit of time, check out the free agent classes, not this offseason, but the next couple of years. Whoa, buddy, is it lacking in top flight talent? It's rough out there on the position player side.
Well, by that time, you'll have already turned a couple of your guys into, or guys that you traded for, into the nucleus of stars that you needed. Maybe you don't need that dude anymore, right? Maybe you need some ancillary pieces on the outside.
You're good,
How did BT used to say? Spin rate.
God, he's good at this. He's so good at this.
Yeah, that's perfect. I still have the spider tack.
You're still using that nowadays.
I'm still spinning it.
They banned it in Major League Baseball,
but you still have it.
BT's able to use it against the little leaguers that he sees.
It's grandfathered in.
All right, BT, enjoy the game tonight, man. Have a great weekend. We'll talk. Well, I will not be here next week.
Of course you won't. It's a Friday,
which means that one of us has to be off. But the guys will talk to you again next week.
Look, enjoy your vacation yet again. You get a lot of them. There's a lot of off time going around 101 ESPN, but I hope you enjoy it with the family. You guys have a great weekend. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, BT. I'll enjoy Vermont. It's Brad Thompson joining us as he does each and every Friday.
No more days off for Ferrario.
Yeah, you're done.
Hockey starts in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're in every day for the next 6 months.
No, not till February. Then I'll be off for 2 weeks when the Olympics happen.
September, October, November, January, February. 5 months. You've got 5 months where you're here every day.
Yep. And then I'll be back for another 3 months. And then when the Blues go to the Stanley Cup Championship and win, I'll take my days off in July.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll get into the junk drawer. But next, time for our football pick'em.
Crap.
If you haven't been with us before in the past, we will each select 3 games. All of the games that are played prior to us arriving on Monday at 11 a.m. are on the board.
So no Monday games.
The one real rule here is it has to be a side. There are no totals. There are no props. It is a side. Which side are you taking, college football or the NFL? Our football pick'em returns next year on 101 ESPN.
Tanner Hendrickson here with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Cardinals back in action tonight as they start a 3-game set with the San Francisco Giants. 7:15 will be first pitch. Michael McGreevy will get the start for St. Louis. Another Major League Baseball news coming out of New York. The Mets have optioned Kodai Senga to AAA Syracuse. And tonight here on 101 ESPN, you can hear the Chiefs kick off their season as they take on the LA Chargers. The Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. SeaMalondoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Here we go. It is time for our weekly football pick'em here on BK and Ferrario with Alex and T-Bone. I'm BK. If you're new to this, you haven't listened to the show in the past, here's how it works. We will each pick 3 games from the football weekend, college or NFL. No totals, no props, just sides. So if a team is favored by 3, they got to win by 4 or more for you to be able to cover. There are no pushes. That does not count as a win in our book. It's just like an eliminator pool, a survivor pool. If your team doesn't win, you don't advance. So that's the way this works. You will be on a grading scale of 1 to 3. 1 is the lowest points, 3 is the highest. At the end of the month, one of us will lose. And that person that has the fewest points accumulated over the course of the month will be punished. We have some of our punishments finalized. We will continue announcing those as we go along. I will say this. There is one new punishment that has been implemented this year, Alex.
Good.
We are going to have a calendar photo shoot at the end of the season.
God.
The 2 people that win will be able to choose the 12 different images that will be used as a part of that. So if you are dressing up, the person that ends up losing will be dressing up in the garb of the winner's choosing. So that is at the end of the season. We will also do punishments at the end of each and every month. How you guys feeling? You guys ready? It's back.
I feel good.
It's weird that bumper music can give me anxiety, but anxiety medicine must not be working right now.
Here we are.
I feel it.
All right, T-Bone.
Bum, bum, bum.
Generally speaking, you've been the best at this for us. Let's start out with your 1-point play for the first week of the 2025 football season.
So for my 1-point play, guys, I've been telling you all week, they're going to take care of business. They're my favorite team in the country, and they are going to roll all the way to Duke, and they are going to kick the crap out of Manny Diaz in this squad. I am going to make the Fighting Illini my 1-point play, -3 on the road. I think they are going to win by a touchdown or more. Luke Altmyer, Brett Bielema, build them their statues by Memorial Stadium as they're going to start the year 2-0 on their path to the college football playoff.
Not only is he going to be sad because his team got their ass kicked on the road at Duke, he's also putting his ass literally on the line for a pick'em challenge.
Literally.
It's insanity. I can't believe that this is one that you went with this week when so many other games were on the board. But hey, man, good for you.
He said it with his chest.
Yeah. Hey, you're putting your money where your
butt.
Embarrassment where your mouth
your
is,
butt.
and I do respect that. Alex, what do you have for us for your 1-point play this week?
Well, as people know, for Ferrario, I don't pick college football because typically those result in losses. Save your jokes that I always lose. I am picking the Dolphins plus 1.5 against the Colts. The reason I have this as a 1-point play is I'm still uncertain what the Dolphins are, and I know they had some injuries that they were concerned of, although I think they said A-Chain and Hill are on track to play, but it's Daniel Jones and the Colts, and I don't trust that team, even them being home. I like the 1.5-point underdog for the Dolphins, so that's my 1-point play. Is that your 3-point play?
I will go ahead and second everything that Alex just said. I have the Dolphins as my 2-point play this week.
Okay.
Dolphins plus 1.5 will win outright on the road at the Indianapolis Colts. I am not high on the Miami Dolphins this year, but this offense gets off to a fast start every year. And then as they start taking their hits, they start taking their lumps, they slow down, they get figured out. But for week 1 of the NFL season, that Colts defense is terrible. Daniel Jones, I think people have forgotten how bad he is as a starting quarterback in the NFL. I believe that the Dolphins will win this game. I think they will put up a bunch of points, 34-20-ish. They win going away on the road at Indianapolis. Dolphins plus 1.5 easily is my 2-point play this week.
I kind of like that one as well. But I'm sticking all college this week, guys, mostly because I've got at least some data points to look at here rather than the NFL. And for my 2-point play, I'm going to a university with alums of the like of Jimmy Kimmel, Al Michaels, and of course the great Katie Woo. I'm going with Arizona State as they go on the road to cowbell country to take on Mississippi State. 6.5 is the line. If this was at 7, I wouldn't have taken it, but it's moved in favor to 6.5. So I am going with Arizona State minus 6.5. Mississippi State still trying to rebuild. Arizona State looks like a playoff caliber team. I like them minus the 6.5 points.
I was a little surprised by that line. I thought it should be a little higher, so I like that pick. It's not one that I ended up going with, but I do like the pick.
All right, sticking in the NFL, I am going to the team that I believe is going to be the NFC East champions, and I am going, because it's a rivalry game, taking the Commanders minus 5.5 against the Giants. Everything I read about this one says, boy, the Giants keep these ones close. I get it, but Dable already came out and said they're holding back Neighbors in practice today because his back's been nagging him a little bit. I think the Commanders have something to prove coming out with this one. They got their guys locked up. I think Jaden Daniels signs, and I think they win this one by a touchdown.
I'm nervous on that game.
Originally, I was nervous because of the line, but I'm confident in Jaden Daniels, and I think he's the better quarterback than Russell Wilson.
I think they will win. I always get a little anxious about week 1 divisional games, and I do think that one ends up being close. I actually like the Giants plus the 5.5 in that game. I think that the Commanders will win, but I think it ends up being close. The Giants have a very good defensive line. Yeah. Makes me a little nervous with the Commanders potentially early on in the season. Maybe Jaden Daniels under a little bit of duress. They were not a great team last year. Let's not forget about that. A good one, definitely, but not a great one until we got to the postseason. Then they went on a great run. Commanders minus 5.5. I like the Giants side on that one. My 1-point play, because I had my 2-point play. That was Alex's 1-point play. My 1-point play this week is going to be the Ravens going on the road at the Buffalo Bills as a favorite in Buffalo. You do not see this very often, a team favored in Buffalo. I think the Ravens are the better regular season team. When we get to January, I will not feel this way. But right now, we've seen it for years. The Ravens are arguably the best regular season team in the NFL over the last 5 seasons. Lamar is spectacular early on in seasons as well, similar to what I said previously about the Dolphins. I think that defense is very good. I don't have a great feel right now for the Bills defense, but they're starting Tre'Davious White. T-Bone, how'd that experience go for you with the Rams?
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, he's a starter for the Buffalo Bills right now. I think the Ravens roll. I think we see this one get away from the Bills a little bit. 31-23. Ravens win going away. I like them minus the 1.5.
I wasn't touching this with the 10-foot pole, but I like the Bills on this one. Week 1, high expectations. I think Josh Allen shines.
Josh Allen scares me so much to where I'm just both him and Lamar. Like I don't want to bet against either one of those guys.
Lamar scares me more.
That's why I'd stay away from, especially since there's no data on any of the NFL teams.
And 1.5 point, man. I mean, it's essentially a pick 'em.
For my 3-point play, guys, you know what they say? When you go on the road in the SEC, it's really tough to win on the road. Now, when you go to Kentucky this year, guys? Because Kentucky, they struggled against Toledo in their opening game. And as an Illinois fan, I've seen the experience when you struggle against Toledo in the opening weeks. Typically means you're going 2-10. Ask Lovie Smith. That's what happened to him. I think Kentucky's in for a rough year. I think Ole Miss is going on the road and kicking the crap out of them in their first SEC contest. I like Ole Miss minus the 9.5 points in this SEC matchup.
I've actually got it at 8.5. Would you like the 8.5?
Yes, please. Even better.
The reason that I mentioned that, Alex,
is that your 3-point play?
My 3-point play is Ole Miss going on the road at Kentucky. This is a crazy line. It's wrong. It's flat out wrong. I know I have said this in the past, and at times it has not worked out for me, but it will this week. Because Ole Miss is one of the top 6-ish teams in the SEC. I think they are going to run wild against Kentucky. They win big. They put up 40-plus points. Kentucky scores like 13. I think this is an absolute rout. I'm very surprised that it's only an 8.5-point line. Give me Ole Miss. They run wild in Kentucky.
If I would take college football, I would have said sweep it, but I don't. I'll tell you the one team that's going to be in for a rough season. It's the Saints, and I am picking the Cardinals minus 6.5 on the road as my 3-point play. Don't overthink this one, guys. Spencer Rattler's starting. Kyler Murray's under some pressure. Their offense is back. Essentially the same. They've upgraded a little bit. I think this one's an easy pick for number 3. Cardinals minus 6.5.
This is West-East early start. I don't know. If you're trusting,
it's mountain time.
You trusting Kyler, you're playing a dangerous game. I think
you trusting Rattler, you're playing a dangerous game.
What was the line that you had it at?
6.5.
I've got it at 5.5. Would you like that one, or would you like to stick to your 6? Oh wait, no. I'm so sorry. That is the week 2 game.
No. He said 5.5.
I apologize. It is 6.5.
He said 5.5. I'm taking it.
6.5. It is.
It's 6.5. I apologize.
I was say surely that line didn't move down.
Fine.
All right. Here are the picks for you guys this week. For T-Bone, he's got the Illini minus the 3 points at Duke. That's his 1 point play. He's got Arizona State minus the 6.5 at Mississippi State. That's his 2 point play. And for 3 points, a game that I am also in on as my 3 point line, he's got Ole Miss minus 8.5 on the road at Kentucky. For Alex, he's got a 1 point play of the Dolphins plus 1.5. I can't believe they're not favored on the road at the Colts. That is also my 2 point play. For Alex's 2 point play, he's got the Commanders winning at home by at least 6 points against the Giants, and he has the Cardinals minus 6.5 on the road at the New Orleans Saints. I've already given you my 2 and 3 point plays based on the fact that I agree with these two fine gentlemen on 2 of my plays. I also have the Ravens in the game of the week winning on the road by at least 2 against the Buffalo Bills. How you guys feeling? Week 1 of our Pick'em Challenge. You guys in a good spot? Feeling good?
I feel good. Like, I've seen everybody play, which makes me feel more confident. And I know my boys that are right here on my heart, the family's going to take care of business and give me 1 point.
I can't wait for you to start your weekend off with a loss.
It's going to be so amazing.
It's going to be so much
T-Bone
fun.
can't even watch the game live.
I know. And I'm going to just
see the
live
Illini lose live, so
text
he's going to experience it, and we get to feel his excitement. Like, Illinois is going to get off to a great first drive. The first 15 plays are going to look amazing. And we're going to know as he's texting us about how great Illinois looks. Dude, this is all going to fall apart. They lose 24-7. We're going to know that ahead of time. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
And you lose your 1 point play, feeling pretty pissy about it. And then you both lose your 3 point play. It's going to be a good weekend.
I'm just going to have my phone turned off until after I'm done watching it.
Coming up in 15 minutes, Bill Connelly, one of the smartest college football minds out there. He's going to join us to discuss his new book and to preview this weekend's college football slate. Bill Connelly in 15 minutes. Juncture next here on 101 ESPN.
Hey, this is Jay Delsing, and I have free golf balls to give away. I have this special limited time offer for all of you golfers. Go to the Underdog app and sign up. Use the promo code JAY24 and then send me your username at j@jdelsinggolf.com, and I'll send you a dozen tailor-made golf balls for free. I only have about 50 dozen or so you have to act fast. That's JAY24, and send me your email at j@jdelsinggolf.com.
Tanner Hendrickson here, and football season is back, and it makes me so excited for when DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, comes to the Show Me State on December 1st. So make sure you sign up today, because new Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. So download now and place your first $5 bet live when we go live December 1st. And DraftKings Sportsbook will bring everything that you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when DraftKings Sportsbook goes live in Missouri, you'll be betting with the Sportsbook app trusted by millions. Safe, secure, and has fast money withdrawals. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use my code TANNER to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's code TANNER in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
ESPN has your chance to win free tickets to see Everclear with special guests Local H and Sponge. Friday night, September 26th at the Family Arena.
Find all the ticket details and find that chance to win free tickets for Everclear right now at either 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Powered by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
Alex and T-Bone on BK. It's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. Time to dive into the junk drawer. Alex, did you see what Taco Bell is doing? They are rethinking their AI drive-thru.
Okay.
Because a man was able to take advantage of the AI machine.
Nice.
In one clip, a customer crashed the system by ordering 18,000 water cups.
Oh!
While in another, a person increasingly got angry as the AI repeatedly asked him to add more drinks to his order. So Taco Bell had been using, at some of their stores, about 500 of their locations across the U.S., some kind of AI technology to help with their drive-through system, but they appear to be rethinking that strategy after it has been taken advantage of by some of their consumers.
What's the quote from Dark Knight? Some people just want to watch the world burn. That's what that individual hates AI and was like, I'm going to go screw up Taco Bell.
Yeah, well,
genius.
For all of us, that man, in my opinion, is a hero, saving somebody's job.
Amen to that.
Some 16-year-old just got a job at the drive-thru at their local Taco Bell because that individual, who might also be a jerk in his regular life, actually did something that saved one of our jobs.
18,000 waters, and I would have done one bean burrito, just to really throw it for a loop and be like, all right,
do you
you're
have a
good to go.
go-to Taco Bell order?
Mine was always the Mexi Melts. I used to love those, and they were only like $1. I haven't eaten a Taco Bell in like 10 years.
I'm a Taco Supreme guy. T-Bone, do you have
Those Dorito tacos are good too.
I'm a chicken quesadilla guy. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Sometimes
I think you
kid
eat
order.
like my 2-year-old.
That's a kid order. I was just gonna say he has his syrup and chocolate chip waffles with whipped cream, and he has his chicken quesadilla.
No syrup.
Sorry, no
T-Bone
syrup.
probably still has the smiley face French fries.
Oh,
Remember those?
Oh, the tater tots, the smiley.
Those things
the
really
smiley
hold
tots.
the ketchup well too. Oh yeah.
That's definitely, if T-Bone can find those at a store, he is not only ordering them and consuming them. He is housing them.
You act as a 70-year-old and eat like a 10-year-old.
Okay, that's okay. Kids know what's up, man. They eat all the good stuff.
I don't know. I ate a lot of stuff when I was a kid that might have killed me.
Yesterday, my son took his popsicle, dunked it into his ketchup, and then ate it. And I was like,
oh, yeah, my daughters, they ask.
Everything goes into ketchup.
They ask for condiments with their food. So, like, last night I made a Fiesta Lime chicken for them, and I made this, like, salsa ranch with it. They don't eat by dipping it. They just take the fork and they scoop the dressing and then eat that.
Yeah, we did dumplings last night. We got dumplings from a place down the street from us, and they give you like these little sauce things, like the little spoons, and he put ketchup into the spoons and then just ate it from the spoon.
Adelaide eats the Chick-fil-A
dude.
sauce just like she takes the wrapper off and then just licks it.
He's Alex. That's
Kids,
T-Bone.
man.
I'm BK. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll give you our NFL weekend look ahead. But next, we look ahead to the college football weekend with Bill Connelly of ESPN.com here on 101 ESPN. Alex, this is a true story. Last week, T-Bone and I were talking about who do we want to have on this week, the big start to the college football season with Mizzou versus Kansas. Illinois has a big game against Duke. And we both decided, Bill Connelly would be a great guy to be able to have on from ESPN.com. And then I got an email from his publisher as he has just put out a new book, Forward Progress, the definitive guide to the future of college football. And so Bill Connelly joins us now via the Callier and Thompson hotline. Bill, it's great to be able to catch up again, man. Congratulations on the new book. People can find that on Amazon or wherever books are sold. How you doing today?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing really well. So let's get right into this on the Missouri side of things. The return of the border war. I know this is near and dear to your heart, as it is for me as well. Just big picture-wise, before we get into the actual game that we could see tomorrow, what is your excitement level to be able to see this once again on the field?
Well, I've commented for a while now. Like a couple of years ago, when Kansas State came to Columbia, it was like a family reunion. Everybody was walking around just kind of grinning at each other, and because it was a drivable game for the visitors, kind of an increasingly rare thing. I mean, the visitors section was full, and it was just a different environment. And then, of course, they went out and put on a very wild game of football as well. So, anytime you had, OU coming to town last year, now you've got Kansas coming to town. I am very curious what the vibe will be, though, because I don't think this is going to be a grinning family reunion type of thing. And
little different.
And there's going to be this really odd contrast where in the stands, the fans are as intense and into it as they've ever been, and none of the players even really knew this was a rivalry until their coaches tried to teach them the history of it this summer, because game hasn't been played since they were like 6. So. It's a really weird kind of conflagration of things there, but I like that they're playing. Obviously, I wish they'd play every year.
In terms of on-field, Bill, do you think this is going to be the test for Mizzou to really find out who the Tigers are this year?
It's it'll obviously tell us more than the last game. I am really curious, moving forward, because Kansas, with my SP Plus ratings, Kansas has moved up, so that's now a projected 1-score game. Alabama's moved down, so that's now a projected 1-score game. They basically have 8 projected 1-score games in their final 11 contests of the season, and so. I mean, never mind what it'll tell us or won't tell us. You got to win these games. You got to win a good portion of really close games if you want to meet whatever goals you have this season. And it's going to be a pretty wild ride. And you start off with this really intense thing that you're going to then have to, play 10 more games after. It's just kind of interesting all around.
Thankfully for us as Mizzou guys, Eli Drinkwitz has some kind of a horseshoe planted firmly up his you-know-what, because he's been winning all of these 1-score games over the last couple of years. So we'll see if he's able to continue that trend. If you're a Mizzou fan this weekend, Bill, what is the thing that, in your opinion, will win them this game? Like, if this goes well, they will win. And what is the thing that gives you fear that if you were a coach for Missouri, it would keep you up at night, because this is the thing that could end up losing them this game?
Well, I mean, first of all, winning a bunch of close games the last couple of years sure helped to have a big-legged kicker that can nail 50-something yarders. And obviously it has to be at least a little bit of a concern. You don't completely know what you have with a freshman who wasn't expected to start this season, but with Blake Craig out the rest of the season, we'll see how that goes. But no, I mean, I think a lot of this game is going to be determined by 2 things. Number one, keeping Kansas unsuccessful on third downs. They've been horrible on third downs on offense against Fresno State and Wagner. Kind of unsustainably bad, I think. But basically, they've 3rd and 3 or more. They're hitting like 18%, 18% for the season, and that's not going to keep up. But if Missouri can take advantage of that in the short term here, and they haven't been good in the red zone either. It hasn't mattered because their defense has improved, and Fresno State couldn't move the ball. Kansas is making a lot more tackles for loss, a lot more disruptive plays. And I think really that makes it the single most important thing in this game is probably Missouri's efficiency game, the run game. We saw last week the offensive line was mostly good, but then it had one disastrous drive in the second quarter as well. And if Kansas is able to create negative plays and really put Bo Pribula in a 2nd and 11, 3rd and 12 kind of situation, that's not going to turn out well for Missouri. So how they run the ball and how they stay on schedule is going to be really interesting.
Bill, is this as open of an SEC conference as it's been in some time in your memory?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I guess TBD on that one, because it might turn out that Georgia's just awesome. They obviously didn't have the same kind of test that Texas and Alabama and others had last week, but they looked great. They looked like Georgia. And so, maybe that alone kind of makes the difference there. But yeah, if they are flawed like they were last season, obviously Texas could still be in there, even if Alabama isn't, which, they'll have a chance to rebound at least. LSU looks good now. Ole Miss looked like Ole Miss from last season again. So, I mean, yeah, you can certainly, if it's not Georgia's race, just start to finish, then you can probably go 5, 6, 7 teams deep to really find where, just the number of contenders this thing might have.
Bill Connelly is our guest here on 101 ESPN. You can find his writing over at ESPN.com, where he writes about college football. You can also order his new book, Forward Progress, The Definitive Guide to the Future of College Football. Get that on Amazon or wherever books are sold. The other local school that I wanted to hone in on with you, Bill, is the Illini. They've got an interesting game this weekend at Duke. Now, our producer, Tanner, is an Illini fan. He is Illinois through and through. He loves the Illini this weekend. Do you see this as a good matchup for Illinois?
I mean, on paper, this is a really, really tight matchup, especially not that we you never know quite what the home crowd's going to be like in Durham, but they've shown up for big games before. And this is a really strangely big game for Illinois Duke. Duke won 9 games with an offense that was kind of actively hostile towards its success last year. And now they went out and bought, one of the most expensive quarterbacks in the portal in Darian Mensah, who looked great last week. So, against Elon, but still, he's 1 for 1 in his Duke career, looking good. So, I mean, that feels like a pretty dangerous spot to be in. Illinois is another team that won a ton of close games last year. The Rutgers thing that was nonsense, and there are a lot of games like that. So, I mean, I think they certainly, speaking of horseshoes, they were in a pretty good place, and we'll see if that continues for either Illinois or Missouri this year. Duke could be a dark horse ACC contender if Clemson really isn't particularly elite, and they've got a lot to prove here too.
Bill, I think if anybody would have said a couple of weeks ago that Michigan-Oklahoma was going to be the biggest game in college football in 1 week, you'd probably be like, ooh, what a rough week. But it does seem like 2 teams that are on the up that you're trying to find a little bit more about. What are you expecting in this one? Do you think we get maybe some answers in terms of a team that maybe some weren't predicting to be as good in this matchup?
Yeah, obviously there's a little downgrade in, top 10 matchups this week. So number 15 versus 18 is as big as it gets. Although, Iowa State, Kansas, Missouri, plenty of other entertaining games, I guess. Honestly, the first question I have for this one is it's all that matters until we see how Bryce Underwood responds to the first absurdly hostile environment of his career. Owen Field's one of the loudest places I've been to. And they can get particularly shrill when they need to, and it's just going to be different. He's never faced anything like this. Maybe it turns out that he does it fine. He doesn't have to go out and throw for 600 yards or anything. But if he's making some freshman errors, like even the best freshmen tend to do at least once or twice on the road, then I don't think anything else matters in this game. Oklahoma's going to eventually pull away. If he doesn't, though, if he's at least able to just not turn the ball over, lead to punts, give Michigan's defense a little bit of field position, I'm really curious what Michigan will do against John Mateer and Oklahoma's offense. We still don't know the OU O-line is any good whatsoever. They still have to prove that. And that could make things, awfully, nip and tuck down the stretch. So until we see Underwood's not turning the ball over a lot, then I don't think anything else matters. And I guess that means I'm giving OU's a slight edge.
I find OU to be a fascinating team this year. I didn't have many high hopes for them coming off of last season, but now they've got a great defensive line. They've got a quarterback that's super interesting. They basically imported an entire offense. Yep. So I find them to be a really interesting and compelling team this year. All right, Bill, we'll get you out of here on this. The biggest storyline in week 1 was probably Texas and the struggles of Arch Manning, but number 2 closely behind was Alabama looking that way against Florida State. You have a new book out called Forward Progress, The Definitive Guide to the Future of College Football. Alabama might need that book here very soon. As you were going through the process of this, what did you learn? What does the future of college football look like in your estimation? What can people expect when they read this book?
As far as Bama goes, yeah, I did not. They were not looking forward enough last week. It was like they had no idea what a Gus Malzahn offense with Tommy Castellanos was going to do, and that was pretty shocking. But yes, as far as the book goes, it's basically, I started to realize over a long period of time that we had so much change to react to. I didn't really have a vision for where I thought things should go. I like having a vision of where things should go, even if that vision is realistic unrealistic, I'd still like having the vision. And so I wanted to just kind of step back and analyze all these different types of changes that have come to the sport, whether we're talking about conference realignment, television money, paying players, playoffs, and all those different things. Just kind of step back and see what we can learn about history, what it might tell us about what's going to happen over these next few seasons. And, I figured if it helped me, maybe it'll help others too. I like how it turned out. And, it's kind of half manifesto, half history book, and I like it.
Where do you think the college football playoff lands? Do you have a number that came to mind for you?
Definitely not 28, like the last rumor. I still think, who knows? We've seen some plot twists here, but I still think the single most likely thing is 16 teams with 5 conference champions and 11 at-larges. That's where they should go. I'm fine with staying at 12, too. 12 was a lot of fun last year. And if we want to ride that out for a little bit longer, I don't see any problem. But 16, I've never been scared of 16, and it'd be pretty fun, too, I think.
Do you like the idea of eliminating the conference championship game and going to like a play-in style that week?
Well, that is certainly kind of something one way or the other. That is the next kind of thing to solve. I hate the play-in games when it comes to the auto bids and the fact that last year we could have had Indiana going 11-1 hosting 8-4 Iowa for a spot in the playoff or something. Iowa had no business being in anywhere close to the playoff, but they could have sneaked in at the last minute. So the auto bids don't make a lot of sense to me, but it's clear that, in a 16-teamer especially, conference titles don't mean a whole lot, and we have to kind of rethink how that weekend goes. I loved the 2020 Big Ten idea where, they were figuring out this compressed schedule, and they were like, well, everybody's going to play on championship weekend. We'll pair teams off at the end. It wouldn't have been a play-in game, so to speak, but just having those games as being kind of like the 12th game of the season. So you still have a conference championship, but they're not hurt by playing a 13th game. I think we could think of those types of things moving forward, and we'll see where that takes us.
He's Bill Connelly. You can read his great work over at ESPN.com, and you can order his new book, Forward Progress, The Definitive Guide to the Future of College Football. Get that on Amazon or wherever books are sold. You can also find a link for all of that on his Twitter account at ESPN_Bill C. Bill, always great to catch up with you, man. Thanks so much for hopping on with us today. We'll talk with you again soon.
Sounds good.
Got it. That's Bill Connelly, ESPN.com, and the author of the new book, Forward Progress, The Definitive Guide to the Future of College Football. Bill's one of my favorite guys to talk to. You're not going to find anybody that is more informed on the sport of college football than Bill Connelly. He talks to coaches across college football. He is also knee-deep in all of the analytics of college football. And as you can tell there, kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Jason Stark with baseball, right? He's just really interested in like what makes college football what it is, what it makes it unique. How does it work? How does it operate? So really good stuff. I'm certainly looking forward to reading his book myself, Forward Progress, The Definitive Guide to the Future of College Football. T-Bone, did he make you more nervous, more excited? How did he make you feel as an Illinois fan about that matchup this weekend?
I still am going to hold my confidence in the Fighting Illini. Everybody that I keep hearing talk about it does not feel great about the matchup for Illinois. I'm still going to stay with my gut. Numbers, screw them. I'm going with my gut feeling.
That always pays off.
That goes well.
So
I may be too numbers based because I do follow them a lot with my picks, and as we have seen, that has not always gone well for me.
Hold on. I like how he said I used my gut with this one. I'm going off of it, but yet all of his pick'ems were, well, I have analytics based in from week 1 of all college football action. I'm making picks. I'm going off the gut here.
I just say I use the college week 1 as like data points. I don't mean I'm looking at numbers. I'm going with my eyes tell me when I'm watching those games.
Yeah, sure.
The eyeball test.
Sure, the eyeball test.
We will get into our NFL weekend look ahead on the other side. You did ask Alex about the Michigan versus Oklahoma game. That's an OU 5.5 point spread in favor of Oklahoma. It is at OU this weekend in Norman. As Bill said, it's a freshman quarterback, a true freshman quarterback, going on the road in a hostile environment for the first time in his career. And Oklahoma, for all of their warts, and they're not a perfect football team, they have a very good defensive line. It has been rated as one of the top defensive lines in the country by those that are in the know coming into this season. Do you have a feel on this one, Alex, one way or the other?
I think I'd lean more towards Oklahoma, mostly because of what Bill was talking about with the line strength. But I don't really have a feel because they're lower ranked teams. It's not like one's dominant than the other, and both were underperforming last year. So it's hard to give the feel. I think I always lean towards SEC, though.
Yeah, I would lean Oklahoma in this one, again, because of the defensive line and because I trust their quarterback in this kind of a spot. John Mateer is not perfect, but he's pretty damn good, and he's been in big games before. And that is something that I cannot say just yet about Underwood, but man, was he good last week. He was really, really impressive. And if he's able to go on the road and win this game, then maybe we should be talking more about Michigan as a legit contender in the Big Ten this year. Like that's the kind of thing that could open up. This game is awesome. I love these style of games because it could elevate one of them.
Yeah.
To a spot that nobody expected them to be before the season. And if Oklahoma in particular wins this game, they've got Temple next week, Auburn the week after that, Kent State the week after that, all of those games at home other than Temple, and then they've got Texas. That could set up undefeated Oklahoma versus one-loss Texas in a massive game in mid-October for the SEC. So it could provide us with some really compelling television in the second half of the SEC slate. T-Bone, who did you like in this one?
I like Oklahoma. I almost took them in the pick 'em.
Wow.
I think they're going to cover that spread because it's not often you see a true freshman end up. They always look good in these non-con games, and then they end up struggling once they get towards conference or Power 4 non-con opponents, just like Nico Imaleva did last year for Tennessee. The other thing, too, though I liked what Underwood did against New Mexico, as Connelly put in his piece, he was under a lot of pressure, which is a little alarming when you're going up against New Mexico and you're giving up that kind of pressure. Now you see that Oklahoma D-line.
In 15 minutes, we'll play a game of One's Gotta Go. 314-399-9646 is the Your Comfort Service text line. You guys give us 4 different options. We'll tell you which one's gotta go. But coming up next, it is the return of the NFL Weekend Look Ahead, the upset pick of the week, the game of the week. We'll get into it all next here on 101 ESPN.
BK, it felt great to have the NFL back last night, and of course we got action later tonight, which means I'm putting my entry in for Chiefs and Chargers. I've got 4 of them. Travis Kelce, lower than 50.5 receiving yards. Omari Hampton, higher than 48.5 rushing yards. Pacheco, higher than 48.5 rush yards. And Noah Gray, higher than 1.5 receptions. That one pays 15 times the amount you put into it.
This is all over on Underdog. If you have not downloaded the app yet, do so today. And when you do, be sure to use our promo code BKO. That's promo code BKO. You'll score $50 in bonus funds when you place your first $5. That's promo code BKO over on the Underdog app. You can play right now in the state of Missouri. It's super easy. Choose whether your favorite players are going higher or lower, as Alex did. Stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and so much more. Get your entries right. You could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You play with as little as just $1. Millions of fans have already won billions. Making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older, present in Missouri. Terms do apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, boys, it is time for our NFL Weekend Look Ahead. We do this each week of the NFL season with Alex and T-Bone. I'm BK. By the way, in 15 minutes, one's got to go. You give us 4 options. We'll tell you which one's got to go. Backed by popular demand, despite the fact that it's the NFL season. And to be frank, because we're not previewing the Cardinals game this weekend.
Even a bigger win.
Let's get into this game of the week. If you could only sit in front of your television this weekend, Alex, and watch one game, not including Monday night, which game would you choose?
Well, it's Sunday night. It's Ravens and Bills. I mean, it's either Sunday, the 3 o'clock slate, but I think mine's more 2 MVPs going head-to-head against each other. I'm always so curious, and I know this has no implication on the playoffs because we're, 18, 17 weeks away from this, but I love when you get 2 juggernauts going head-to-head, so mine would be Ravens-Bills.
T-Bone?
Yeah, I think that one's obvious, but the one that I would go to be different with it, Lions-Packers is going to be really good in the afternoon slate. You've got the Lions. We'll see what they look like for the first time without their 2 coordinators. We'll see what the offense and defense looks like. And then with the Packers, you now have Micah Parsons. If you're someone like BK that is like all in on them going to the Super Bowl, we'll see what the offense looks like this week. I think that one's the most intriguing of the Sunday slate, not including Sunday Night Football.
I wanted to pick that one in our pick'em too, but man, I don't trust either of those teams because I don't know yet.
I really like the Packers this week. You'll be surprised to learn.
I would have thought.
I'll go ahead and do it. Yeah, sure. Tonight's game, Friday night, on YouTube. Chiefs versus Chargers. I'm obviously a Chiefs honk. You guys know that. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm not.
You
never give it away.
I think one of the most fascinating storylines of this season is, hey, you good? Is that offense going to get back on track? It's a genuine question. I don't know the answer to that because I think it really comes down to, the Chiefs are betting on health. They are betting that a healthy Isaiah Pacheco, a healthy Hollywood Brown, those 2 guys will add an explosive element to this offense. Xavier Worthy was there last year, man. Now, maybe a year in the offense changes things, and he's able to connect on those deep balls this year. But Travis Kelce was there. Noah Gray was there. The one other change is we have added a new left tackle. So is that enough? A new left tackle plus healthy weapons, because Rashee Rice ain't playing the first 6 weeks. That's basically the same group of weapons as they had a year ago. Is it actually going to be different this time around? Tonight is the first time that we'll have a chance to be able to find that out. Chiefs versus Chargers, I think, is a super compelling matchup because the Chiefs, to me, even if I wasn't a fan of them, man, they've been to 100 straight AFC championship games, 5 straight Super Bowls. They're the team of this decade, regardless. And last year, they weren't good for most of the regular season, despite going 15-1 in games that they tried. Alex, your upset pick of the week this week.
Mine's the Panthers taking down the Jaguars on the road. I think that's it. Last time I saw it, it was 3.5. I don't know if that shifted or not. And I know
it's 3.5. Yep.
I know that's not really an upset play.
No, that plays.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But I think the Panthers have the better quarterback of the 2. And I haven't liked Bryce Young. He made strides last year. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. I don't trust the Jaguars defense. So can I see an upset? Yeah, I could see the Panthers taking down the Jaguars on the road.
Boy, we're thinking along the same lines because I have Panthers as my upset pick as well.
Man.
Because I kind of like what we saw from Bryce Young in the second half of the season. And I still don't get the love for the Jaguars to potentially win the AFC South because Trevor Lawrence is not the guy. And that's where I just come down to. Look, we can talk about the weapons that they've brought in. We can talk about all the fine pieces they have. Until Trevor Lawrence can show me something, I'm not going to bet on the Jaguars. And I saw something from Bryce Young in the second half of last year. I do think the Panthers will go on the road and pull off this upset.
I think this is a week of a lot of home dogs winning outright. I like the Falcons straight up against the Bucks. I like the Jets to win outright against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that we will see the Seahawks potentially take down the San Francisco 49ers. There are a lot of home dogs this week. And Monday Night Football, I've got the Bears against the Vikings. We'll talk about that more on Monday as we get closer. But I think this is the week of the home dog. That would be the way that I would describe it for myself. Alex, if you're looking at it, you're turning on the TV on Sunday, and you're thinking to yourself, all right, this is the matchup that I'm honing in on, a specific offense versus a defense or a defense versus an offense. What is the matchup that you're most intrigued to see this weekend?
Not to go chalk with this, but I like the Lions-Packers matchup because you're getting a division opponent with each other and kind of see how those turn out with new coordinators.
Which side?
More so the Lions offense versus the Packers defense because it's
Parsons.
It's Parsons and it's the best. It's the deepest offense that I feel like we see in the NFC right there with the Philadelphia Eagles.
I also think we're not talking enough about the questions with that offense. They've got some questions on the O-line. That interior is not the same that it was a year ago. Their center, surprisingly to everybody, retired midway through the offseason, so they've got to be able to fix that on the fly. And they don't have one of the best play callers in the NFL this year. Ben Johnson's departure is a huge addition for the Bears, why I like them on Monday night. And it's also a huge loss for the Detroit Lions. We have seen with other teams, when that guy goes, the next guy in line does not immediately just take over and pick up where they left off. There's more to this than just like, all right, yeah, it's the same scheme. No, there's an ebb and a flow. There's a rhythm to the course of a game. And like sequencing really matters with play calling. We'll see if the Lions have that right. I like that one.
Yeah, for me, it would be what the Raiders offense looks like in week 1, because I like the pieces that they have. Geno's fine. I really like Ashton Genty at running back. Brock Bowers was awesome at the tight end spot. I'm just curious to know, okay, what do you really look like? Because on paper, I don't mind this team. But you go on the road, you're at New England, who's another kind of fun, interesting team. What does your offense look like against the Patriots? I'm very fascinated to see what Las Vegas looks like.
See, I like that one too, but I'd actually take the other side of it. I'd want to see what the defense looks like against Drake May and that offense, mostly because I think their offense is going to be fun in Vegas. Their defense, other than Max Crosby, has nothing.
I think I know what it's going to look like. It's going to be a disaster.
It's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, their defense has a chance to be one of the 3 to 5 worst in the NFL. They have one good player.
And we're acting as if that team's going to be a playoff team?
It's what's... I've shied away from them because of that.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about their coach.
Yeah,
I think that they're building something. I am excited about the offense. The defense is bad enough, and they don't have the Bengals offense. Like, it's good. It's not what Cincinnati has, where Cincinnati may be able to overcome their defensive limitations. I don't think the Raiders are there just yet. If I'm going to hone in on one matchup this weekend, it would be the Giants against the Commanders. That defensive line for the Giants, I want to see what they look like against Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels was one of my favorite players in the NFL to watch last year. I think he's spectacular. I loved him coming into the draft. I never understood why he was like... Some people viewed him as a late first-round pick. It just never made sense to me. We all watched that game between the Missouri Tigers and LSU. He single-handedly won that game against a very good Missouri defense that year, went on to win the Heisman. I want to see what this offense looks like against that defensive line, because the Giants have a chance to be an outstanding defense. I think they have huge limitations on the offensive side of the ball. I'm not looking forward to that, but the Commanders' offense versus that Giants defensive line, I want to see where Washington's at. Can they sustain what they had built a year ago? Because you look at the personnel, man. It's interesting. I really like Terry McLaurin. I like the addition of Deebo Samuel, but Deebo wasn't the same dude last year that he had been previously. And beyond that, it's just okay outside of Jayden Daniels. So I want to see that Washington offense this weekend. That's the one that I would hone in on. You guys have anything else in particular that stands out to you this week? Week 1 of the NFL season?
Honestly, the NFC West is just something I'm curious about. Like, you get Seahawks and 49ers going up against each other. I think I could see the Seahawks beating it just like the 49ers. What do the Cardinals look like against the godforsaken Saints and then Rams and Texans? Like, that's the division I know the least about right now, because I think any of those 4 teams could win it.
I'll give you one real quick, T-Bone. I just want to see the Titans. They're a mystery to me.
That's one of mine, too.
I don't want to see them in week 1 against Denver, though.
It's a really tough spot, but it's almost why I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
If Cam Ward looks good this weekend, I think one of the overreactions we could get on Monday morning. This is something that I have the Broncos in my survivor pool this weekend because I'm so confident that they will win against the Tennessee Titans. If they do not, and if Cam Ward goes out there and it's like, whoa, okay, that's the least talked about number 1 overall pick in the last 2 decades, and he's awesome. Like, he's immediately doing what Jayden Daniels did a year ago for Washington, where, again, you looked at their personnel, and it wasn't anything that got you super excited. The Titans could be that team this year that surprises everybody and takes the AFC South by storm. So Tennessee is a team that I've got my eye on this weekend a bit.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought them up because they were one of the other 2 things that I'm monitoring. I will be willing to watch the Titans at the Broncos because I want to see what Cam Ward looks like. The other one I'm not going to watch. I'm just going to look at the box score, and it'll tell me the answer I need to know. Hey, Bengals, defense, you guys good?
You good?
Did you lose to Joe Cool? Joe Flacco couldn't pick you guys apart?
Pass-fail test here.
Yeah.
They can't look good against you.
Exactly. And that's why, like, I find it intriguing, but I find it intriguing to where, like, if Red Zone pops up and goes, oh, please turn it off. Oh, I don't really want to see.
Go to the commercial at the time of that one.
I'll take my 1-minute commercial, please.
The other one that we didn't mention that I am, probably the 12 o'clock slate is the one that I'm going to be watching the most is Steelers-Jets. I don't like
I've
it.
got them as one of my upset specials. I've got the Jets winning.
I do too. I have the Jets winning in this one. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I frankly like to see him fail, but I'm curious with that offense. Like, they always seem to be a 500 team. What kind of Aaron Rodgers are we getting? And then also, does Justin Fields and that defensive line just shove it down Rodgers' throat? So that's a matchup that's going to be fun.
Dude, the Steelers are an enigma for me.
They're all in, baby.
Yeah, clearly. If they had an average quarterback this year, I think they would win 11 games. Pretty good defense.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers has won MVPs.
DK Metcalf added to the offense should be a legitimately significant addition for them. I don't totally know what they're doing in the backfield, but whatever. They've got a good scheme. It'll work out probably.
They don't either.
That's fair. They should be a good team, but then there's the Aaron Rodgers of it all, and I do not trust him at all. Give me the Jets plus the 2.5. Give me the Jets on the money line. Coming up next, it's time for One's Gotta Go here on BK and Ferrario.
Tanner Hendrickson here with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Cardinals back in action tonight as they start a 3-game set with the San Francisco Giants. 7:15 will be first pitch. Michael McGreevy will be on the mound for St. Louis. And tonight here on 101 ESPN, we've got the Chiefs for you as they kick off their season against the LA Chargers. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. Alex, we're helping our big boss in a pick'em this year.
Well, we
for
are
college
not.
football.
Let's clarify that. You and T-Bone are. My job's not on the line.
I don't know what to do for this because it's every game in college football. One of those games this weekend is the Illini game. I like Duke in that game. T-Bone and I are the ones that have been put in charge of helping our boss John out with this pick'em. I'm going to go with T-Bone with the Illini, but I feel like I need to let him know, hey, I don't agree with this pick. And make sure that he knows I'm not the one that put his butt on the line.
You need to make sure, because especially the guy he's going up against took Duke. So you need to make sure he understands that, look, if you miss a point here, it's because of this guy over here.
Hey, and I just want to point out, I wanted Kansas in the Missouri game, but somebody made us go with Missouri.
All right. I'd go with a guy who knows more about football.
Thanks, man.
Agreed. 314-399-9646 is the Air
let you
Comfort
two
Service
fight it out, not me.
4-1's got to go. You give us 4 different
Call
options.
me when you need
we'll tell
hockey
you
picks.
which one's got to go here on BK and Ferrario. From the 314, one's got to go music genre edition. Blues, country, rock, or rap. I would actually go country here. It's the one that I listen to the least often.
I like country. I like blues, but I listen to it probably the least out of all of the other ones. Like the blues for me is when I need like silence and I just need to like listen to something that takes my brain away. So I'll say I get rid of the blues here.
I'd get rid of rap. I'm not big on country either, but I can't stand rap. I can handle some country
It's a
artists.
certain type of rap. I'm going to sound like an old guy here, but like the older
I didn't know where you were going
no.
with this, but I was like, Alex.
What's the next one?
The 80s, 90s rap to me was a lot better than what rap is now.
Okay. One's got to go fall edition. Bonfire, hayride, pumpkin patch, or back patio drinks.
Hayride needs to get the bleep out of here. There's nothing worse than getting on one of those and like being itchy afterwards and not comfortable at all. I despise hay.
Bonfire for me, the smoke bothers my eyes.
Smoke bothers me.
We got the smokeless bonfire now. That one's great.
That's not a bonfire.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, the smoke is the reason the bonfire is good.
And for that reason, I will get rid of the bonfire.
Nothing better than
I like a hayride with a little guy. It's great.
No. There's nothing better than
pumpkin patch is so much fun now with Luca. We go over to T's Farm for theirs, and then you can do the maze afterwards. You can play on their playground. It's
I
great.
don't do mazes.
Drinks on the patio with a cigar.
There's nothing better than exiting a.
That's not different though than an April
you do that every day
for you.
Oh no,
no, that's an August night for you.
It's better when it's kind of a nice chill night.
No, I
rather
love
than when it's like August and like you're still sweating at night.
I love leaving a good bonfire where you smell like that fire smoke.
Man, I like a good
That's
bonfire.
good. I love it.
I would get rid of hayride mostly because it'd be kind of weird when I'm out there by myself on a hayride.
That's very true. You got to find that special
kind of
someone.
weird by myself at a pumpkin patch too, but you know that one might be not as bad.
Mahomes' long body, Mr. Soy Boy, smoke bothers me. Amen to that. I need vegan smoke.
Listen, man, I am true to who I am.
I like smokeless
Somebody
fire.
on the YouTube chat said earlier today, the least surprising thing in the world is that BK watches the Great British Baking Show. Yeah, it is. It's the least surprising thing in the world. I am true to myself.
Yeah. You do you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. One's got to go. Brutal Family Event Edition. A Saturday wedding in the fall. A toddler's t-ball game. A toddler birthday party. Or a children choir recital.
Oh, children choir recital. Are you kidding me? I was going to say toddler birthday party, but children's choir recital. Unless it's my niece or my daughter, don't invite me.
Man, I was originally leading wedding in the during football season.
I'll do that.
Oh, see.
I like weddings in the fall, though. You can still pay attention to the game, but, oh, man.
I'm with you, though. Until I heard recital, I don't know why we do those.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Softball t-ball might be the greatest out of all of those because you're going for pure entertainment purposes.
Yeah, it's funny. And a birthday party, like, you're there, and the kids, if you got other kids, they're kind of playing off to the side, right?
Show with the birthday
adults
party.
When was the last time you went to a toddler birthday party?
Let's see. When was my cousin?
I was going to invite both of you to mine, but I just figured you didn't want to come.
It's been probably over a decade.
From the 636, BK, extremely dorky. Yes, and I'm self-aware of that fact.
He knows it.
Alex
I'm
making
good
fun
with
of BK for smoke bothering him just after complaining about hay. Nobody likes hay.
That's a really good point, actually.
Nobody likes hay.
Why don't you wear like
I've never
jeans and you're
once-
not going to have that itch?
You still itch.
No.
I've never once said, you know what's really bothering me? The itch from this hay ride.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what?
No,
Yeah.
you're crazy.
Look,
Everybody
it's
hates
okay that
hay.
we're 3 beta boys, okay?
No, I'm not a beta boy.
We are.
Semi-beta.
That's the entire vibe of the show.
Your go-to is a Cactus Lime McUltra.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Good
that's
point.
beta right there.
No,
Beta.
A real man would drink
no,
Busch Light.
No, a beta is
Masquerade.
a beta is a spritzer.
Don't you like
those too.
seltzers?
No, I like Mick Ultra. I like Bud Light Lime.
You
Is
do
that
like seltzers?
Yeah, like Bud Light Lime.
That's not a seltzer. That's
not a
a
seltzer, but
beer.
Yeah, like
if we want to call it that.
I think Cactus Lime is considered a seltzer, but
Have a Guinness.
although I do like a good Seagram. That's a spritzer. That's a good one. That's a good pool drink.
From the 636, one's got to go things that annoy us from TMA. Everybody's ridiculous name on YouTube, Jackson's Trust Fund, the TM Av Brokers, or Doug's old man vibes. Really, the only thing that annoys me from TMA is getting in at 11:08.
Well, the names are a little odd.
I enjoy them.
Some of the names are a little odd.
I enjoy some of the names that we see too.
Yeah.
Some of them I don't know.
One that I still never have thought of, and I see it.
Some of them I just don't know if I can say them or not. So
that's fair. I do appreciate that we've seen some merging of the audiences over the last calendar year or so. That's been fun. You can typically tell who the people are that were primarily TMA listeners previously, either because they hate us or because of some of the texts that come through.
I'm assuming this name is from TMA, Stay-at-Home Trailer Park Dad. Grow a set and drink a Bud Heavy.
Yeah.
Bud Heavy.
I do love
That's
Bud.
That's my ally there.
Budweiser.
314-399-9646 is the air covered service text line from Dale in Grubville. Coming up next, BK's Beta Soy Boys, sponsored by... I appreciate that people get the show. All right, from the 636, one's got to go Campfire Necessities Edition. Bug spray, whiskey, Yeti cooler, or folding chair.
Oh,
bug spray is a necessity.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'd get rid of the bug spray because I don't think you need it as much in the fall. Mosquitoes aren't a problem then.
Are you being serious right now?
Yes.
I am getting eaten alive. Luca exclusively wants to be outside now, which is fine. It's great, but I am getting eaten alive out there.
You and I are living in different areas. Like I sat out there a couple of nights ago and I didn't get bit once.
Dude, this week my ankles are a nightmare right now.
Could be chiggers though, not mosquitoes.
Whatever they are.
Diet spray's not going to help you with those.
What can I do? Because, dude, it's a disaster right now.
I'm in good shape, actually. I sat out there for 2 hours. I watched the game on one of those inflatable screens, and it was fun.
Let's see. I got to have my whiskey. I got to have my bug spray.
Mosquitoes sense weakness, BK. Maybe that's what it is.
I got to have the Yeti. I got to have the Yeti cooler. I don't need the chair. I can sit on the Yeti cooler.
Mosquitoes are drawn to the soy.
Now we're figuring out what the problem is.
Somebody on the 314. The past 3 weeks have been the worst for bugs so far this year. I agree.
Completely disagree. I sat out there 3 days ago.
Bugs have been brutal. I'm with BK on this one.
Yeah.
No, you guys.
Hey, man, out there in South County, you guys do things a little differently,
Jefferson
apparently.
County.
Jeffco, you guys do things a little differently out there?
Yeah, apparently we don't have bugs out there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm a soy boy when it comes to bug bites. I appreciate you. You understand?
I mean, everybody's a soy boy with bug bites. I hate mosquito bites.
Dude, it's terrible.
I won't go out if they're bad.
Agreed.
Somebody else said on the text line, I need a screened-in porch for these bugs. Man, that's something that I should look into. If you are a sponsor out there and you want to help me out with a screened-in porch, you want to do some live endorsements for that, I could get behind that. That would be really nice. Now, I've got a carport, not a actual patio situation, so we'll have to work together to see how we can make this work. But yeah, that would be really nice this time of year.
Mahomes' lawn body says apparently meth keeps bugs away.
Oh, okay. Well, I will not be trying that out, but Jeffco.
Hey! You shut the heck up.
These are your people.
Yeah, we don't do meth.
Okay.
Lived there since I was 8 years old.
Growing up in Kansas City, I grew up in Blue Springs. That's where I spent most of my fourth grade years on. City right next to us called Independence, Missouri was considered to be one of the meth capitals of the world.
I love how everybody's trying to argue with a guy who worked in pest control for 8 years. The mosquitoes are a problem still in the fall. Come on, people.
Weird flex.
I'm a pro. Saved lives.
Listen, man, I believe that you have an expertise in this area. I'm telling you what my experience is, and my experience is those bugs are crazy out there right now. It is not going well for your boy.
You must have a new breed of bugs
Maybe.
out there.
I don't think that I'm alone, though, based upon the text line. Coming up next, We'll hit the BK and Ferrario Rewind. Put a bow on this week here on 101 ESPN. Hey, it's time to unlock your inner champion. The place to do so is with Victory Men's Health. Alex, they have helped me out over there at Victory Men's Health by unlocking my inner champion. I went over there, got all of my levels checked. They did a micronutrient lab for me, found out where I was at, what I was low on, where I was exactly where I needed to be. They don't try to oversell you at Victory Men's Health. They just tell you, hey, here's where we think you're a little deficient. Here's what you could do for that. For some people, that means going over there, finding out what they can do to help you out with your low testosterone. For others, it might mean weight loss goals that you're trying to meet. Could mean erectile dysfunction issues that you're dealing with that they can help you out with over at Victory Men's Health. They are there to unlock your inner champion, and they can do so today. Check them out online. VictoryMen'sHealth.com is the place where you can go to book that first appointment. It's an incredibly easy process. Put in your name, email, phone number. Tell them BK with 101 ESPN sent you, and then tell them what it means for you to unlock your inner champion. They've got 4 great locations across the St. Louis area: O'Fallon, Illinois, O'Fallon, Missouri, Sunset Hills, and Town and Country. Read more about them today at VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com. Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. If you guys missed anything from today's show, be sure to check it out on the podcast page. 101ESPN.com and the free 101 ESPN app is where you go to find it. That is always sponsored by
Shea Fedor Company.
If you go over there, you'll see our conversations with Mike McKenna, with Brad Thompson, and with Bill Connelly of ESPN.com. We talked NHL, we talked baseball, we talked college football. It's all very good stuff in my personal opinion. We also talked a little bit about last night's season opener between the Eagles and the Cowboys. We gave you our preview for this season, for this week in the NFL, and we gave you our football pick'em earlier today as well. All of that available on the podcast page and at YouTube, youtube.com/101ESPN STL. By the way, if you want to, check out YouTube, and you can see our conversation yesterday from the Redbird Report. That is over there now. Grant didn't have anything else to do later on in the afternoon yesterday.
Call him out again.
He was able to put that out for us.
Didn't get it up fast enough for you, huh?
He did a fantastic job with that. Sincerely appreciate all of his great work. So youtube.com/101ESPN STL is where you can go for the latest edition of the Redbird Report. You can also see, Alex, the latest edition of the Spread Zone over there as well. We gave you our picks. They can give you theirs over there on the Spread Zone. All right, let's get into it. The Rewind, we are going to continue to look forward to this weekend. Cardinals play. They're going up against the Giants. Both teams are in bad shape. In college football, the Illini have a huge game tomorrow, 11 a.m. on ESPN. Let's go around the horn for these. Illini -2.5 on the road at Duke. Alex, what are you expecting?
Duke with the points. I think Duke wins straight up.
I think the Illini take care of business. I think Gabe Akis is going to come up with a big sack that seals the deal. They win by a touchdown. Altmyer has a big game for the Fighting Illini. ILL.
I've got Duke as well. I do think they win this game straight up. And we come in on Monday. T-Bone is highly disappointed and frustrated.
T-Bone calls in sick.
That his all-in season is not going the way that he expected it to. In the SEC, Mizzou plays at 2:30. So you start out with Illinois, then you go to the Mizzou game. KU versus Missouri. Mizzou is a 6.5-point home favorite in this game. I think that is too many points. I do not like Mizzou minus the 6.5 points. I do like Mizzou to win, though. I think they win this game by 3 to 5 points, something like a 27-23 feels about right to me for this one. I like Missouri, but I do like KU plus the 6.5. That would be my lean in this game. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be highly contested throughout.
Yeah, that's where my line is, because I would take Kansas in the points, but I think Mizzou wins. I actually think it's going to be like a 1 or a 2-point play. I think this is going to come down to one play, and that's going to be the difference in this.
It makes me nervous with the kicker situation. Just want to throw that out there.
He's a JUCO, and they found the loophole.
I agree there.
He's not kicking for them. He's just doing the kickoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't know what sound a Jayhawk makes, but I think it's Kansas
the same
tonight.
as a Battlehawk? Yeah, I would say the same thing.
I think Kansas wins this one. I've seen the Daniels experience in first person. 2 years ago, Illinois played a healthy Daniels, and he picked them apart and was unbelievable. Last year wasn't as healthy. Illinois took advantage of it. He looks healthy. He's looked great in their first 2 games. I think Kansas wins. I think they pull off this upset.
In the NFL tonight, it's Chiefs versus the Chargers in Brazil. That'll be on YouTube for anybody that wants to watch that. You can also hear it right here on 101 ESPN. So if you're driving around tonight, you'll be able to hear Chiefs versus Chargers on 101 ESPN. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. It's the Chiefs -3.5 neutral site games. They see them as a 3.5-point team, as better than a 3.5-point team on a neutral field. I do like the Chiefs in this one. I do think they win it by about a touchdown. I think they cover this spread. And I think we will see a little bit more of an explosive offense in this game that we had seen in the past. I do have some concerns on the defensive side of the ball. I think the Chargers are going to be able to get theirs across the middle, and I do think they'll be able to do pretty well in the running game in this one as well. But I think the Chiefs win it 27-20, something like that.
What did you say what the over-under is in this?
47.5.
Yeah, I like the over in this one. And I like the Chiefs winning this, but I like the over. I don't know if I like the Chiefs winning with the points or if I think it's going to be close with the Chargers. I think I saw that almost every one of the games that they've played over the last 6 years has been a one-score game. But I like the over in this, and I think the Chiefs win straight up.
You see, I like the under because I think the Chargers are going to keep the ball on the ground, try and chew up as much clock as possible. I think Chiefs win. I think it will be a one-score game because it's what they do. I think it's like 20-13 or 20-16, something in that range.
The number one game that you're watching on Sunday, Alex, is what? Other than Sunday Night Football.
Oh, it's
because that's Ravens Bills.
Yeah,
that's the game everybody's going to want to see.
Packers and Lions. It's that divisional matchup to see what Jared Goff and the new coordinators look like versus Micah Parsons with his new team. Plus, I'd like to see Packers lose so that BK can stop this whole they're going to win the Super Bowl thing.
T-Bone, for you, the one that you're most curious about?
Yeah, I like that one. I'll go different from him. I'm going to go with the debut of Cam Ward. What does he look like against the Denver Broncos defense?
Fun one. I want to see what he looks like as well. The number one pick has been like zero discussion this offseason. Zero discussion.
Which is weird.
Think back to Caleb Williams and how much we talked. Yeah, Caleb Williams was too. Jaden Daniels
but they drafted
went
a
to
Doomsday
bad
the
team.
same. There was at least excitement with that offense. They signed Keenan Allen. Like there was at least excitement with what that offense could be. This has nothing.
But there was hype. There's no hype whatsoever surrounding the Tennessee Titans. I find it to be really interesting.
Doesn't suck that bad.
No, they do.
And they're in a highly winnable division as opposed to the Bears, who were in a division that was brutal, and we all knew it going into the season. So I find that one to be highly interesting as well. I'll go with the Commanders versus the Giants, the matchup that I wanted to see. I want to see what Jaden Daniels looks like to start out the year. He's got a chance to enter into that top 4 to top 5 quarterback mix. Got to look good against a team like this if you're going to be able to do that. For Alex Ferrario and Tanner Hendrickson, I'm Brandon Kiley. We will talk to you guys on Monday at 11 a.m. Plenty to discuss on Monday. We'll talk about a Mizzou win and a Illini loss and lots of NFL football here on BK and Ferrario.